All right. Welcome to another FNM Legacy here at Paragon City Games. We got 4 rounds of Legacy action coming your way. My name is Matt, and this is Kyer.
Hey, what's up?
By now.
Maybe. You might know us.
It's been a while, though. I haven't been here in a little while.
It has been a minute. I tried the modern stream yesterday. That was an interesting thing. But we're back with Legacy, which is fantastic.
Yeah, we got a couple of matches coming your way. It was Calvin versus Josh.
And then we've got Remy and Christian, who we're going to start with.
Awesome.
Ta-da! Let me get a couple things set here. One of our cameras wasn't working right before we went live, so
oh yeah.
I got it working, but now I have to reset a bunch of things.
We'll get there. Ooh, so it looks like I saw a lot of things that look like Tez pieces over there.
Yeah, Remy's known to play a little bit of Tezzeret, so. Okay, so Remy. And Christian. I think Christian's a little newer to this format. Unless this is a different Christian than the one I'm thinking of. So I'm not sure what he's on tonight. Sure. Oh yeah, I see some Tezzeret kind of things like over there.
Tezzeret type things.
Oh yeah, first time yeah
for Christian.
And he's playing Sneak and Show.
Sneak and Show, awesome.
That's what I love about Austin being the person who's reporting to me.
That's great.
He just knows what to say, you know.
Hi Batasai, nice to see you.
And show. Sneaking and some showing. Alright, so turn 1, we've got a Mox Opal coming down. That's kind of surprising. Just no use out of it. Just, hey, I'm going to play this. Let's hope it doesn't get caught by some, like, taxer or something. So. And then Christian's got he just brainstormed on turn 1?
Yep, brainstormed
Nothing
on turn
2. Batasai redeeming that hero.
Yeah, of course he's a hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he strikes me as a hero.
Oh, yeah. Chalice on 1 coming down.
Yeah, so Christian's probably, like, especially if he misordered his cantrips. It doesn't look like he did though. Maybe he just didn't have anything else.
This just might be a sneak attack.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like a really, really good place to be for Christian right now. However, I do see something kind of spicy over on Remy's side, and that's a Spyglass. Yeah. So Spyglass is going to come in. We're going to get a good look at Christian's hand, and very, very likely this is going to name Sneak Attack. So we see a Flusterstorm, a Mountain, an Emrakul, another Sneak Attack, and a Force of Will. I can't even believe that he did not force this.
Kind of surprising not to see that get forced.
Yeah, but he's probably revealing his hand and realizing that he needed to.
But, you know, these things happen, and he's still just one show and tell away, really, from getting that Emrakul down.
Unfortunately for him, though, I don't think he actually has anything to get rid of this Sorcerer Spyglass in the main.
Yeah, I was just trying to think about outs to that, and I'm not sure that he has any main deck. He might be able to Cunning Wish for something.
Yeah, making mistakes is definitely the best way to learn. Unfortunately.
Yeah. You certainly won't make that mistake more than once.
No, and he's probably already kicking himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, assuming you recognize your error.
I think you will, and I'm sure that we can berate him after this and be like, "What the heck, man?" All right, so this is Tezzeret the Seeker coming down. all spicy like. And I love that this Mox Opal got played on turn 1 and still is unable to tap her mana.
It's active. Spyglass, Chalice, and Opal.
Oh, it is now. Yeah. This is like the first time it's been, he's got 5 mana now. The first time he can actually make use of it.
We're digging here. We're going to pull up an Ensnaring Bridge. That seems like a pretty good one.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Hey, what's up, Bryce? Welcome. Oh, I need to get the round timer up, guys. Forgot, that's totally my job. Alright, there it is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Christian has to deal with this board, but he's got 2 artifacts that he has to go through before he can really get things moving.
Honestly, Remy's got a whole lot of nothing right now, and this game's already over. As far as main deck goes, I just don't see Christian having something that's going to interact with what's going on. And yeah, you're right. He has to beat both. It's not just one.
On top of that, it's only going to be a 1-turn window because he does have that Academy Ruins active, so he's able to get back the piece that gets killed. So,
right. and then I get an update because this is hey, Riley Cole, thank you so much.
Thank you, Riley.
But yeah, then we have our little cheat sheet guy over here going. He seriously doesn't have anything on the force. He needed to force that. Yeah. Thanks, Austin. Our front counter guys just hanging out, watching the stream, keeping us updated on pairings and stuff. It's great.
So down's gonna come another sneak attack.
Yeah, and I think not conceding here he probably just doesn't know the deck well enough.
The thing is, I think there's actually some merit to playing things out a little bit. And that merit is your opponent doesn't necessarily know that you don't have answers. So here we see 3rd sneak attack coming out, and Remy going, "Yeah, I got that."
Yeah.
But there is mild, it means that people won't go mulliganing quite as far to find one specific piece of hate. So they're less likely to keep a hand that might absolutely destroy you next game.
Right. And it looks like Remy's got another Ensnaring Bridge. This is just gonna be rough. Okay, so he's gonna make all of his artifacts 5/5s, and he's gonna come crashing in for the victory.
And that'll do for game 1. So Remy takes game 1.
I think if the Sorcerer Spyglass does get forced, next turn he Emrakul's and the game ends.
Yeah.
So now he probably would have missed lethal by a couple points of damage. So it's possible that he jumps back in there, but I doubt it. I think Remy's got to be feeling pretty good about taking that one. All right, let's jump over. We've got Josh and we've got Calvin. So Josh on our right playing Miracles.
Counterbalance in play, along with the Snapcaster.
And Calvin on 4-color.
Yeah, it looked like he did have 5 cards in hand. I was doing a quick count there.
Oh, man.
So it looks like Josh's hand is Force of Will and looked like maybe a Ponder. No, it's Predict. Force of Will and Predict. Calvin's board. He's got Death Rate going, couple of 1/1 beaters, and we're going to see an Abrupt Decay take care of that.
Yeah, we get
counterbalance.
Yeah, and predict. I love it. It's an Abrupt Decay, and he's like, "All right, let's reveal. Let's see if it counters. Spell Pierce. Oh, okay. I'll put a Spell Pierce in my graveyard. Let's predict."
I wonder if I know what's on top.
I name Spell Pierce. All right, I think that's a pretty good name.
Josh is at a pretty low life total here.
Yeah. I mean, they both are, and Josh is just looking for a terminus at this point.
For sure.
Okay, so he finds the swords.
Swords, okay. That's actually not horrible. That slows down the clock a little bit.
Lim Win, how's it going? I love it when people say hi.
Yeah.
All right, and Calvin. Yeah, Calvin's going to clean this one up, taking game 1, and we are going to head back over to our other match, who should be pretty close to done shuffling at this point, or sideboarding, or whatever they're doing.
Shuffle cams, man.
Yeah.
Gotta give the people what they want.
That's all the people. That's what everybody wants. Said no one ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. So things that could come in from Sneak and Show to actually deal with these lock pieces. Do they have anything just for direct artifacts? Do we know? I'm trying to think. Besides just countering them,
they could easily play a bunch of different cards, so it's kind of hard to know if they have anything specifically for it.
Because I think what the players are trying to do, I think the Tezzeret deck wants to lock the game out, make it so even if they play something,
right,
get big creatures into play, that they do close to nothing, and I think that Christian wants to get in under that. Just look at
it depends on how
a braid.
A braid is a great card.
Echoing Truth might be in the board. Yeah. Those might be some cards that they're looking at to deal with those.
Those would definitely be options to bring in here.
Yeah.
And pretty much anything but a Chalice on 2 will be fine. Sort of some outside ideas would be cards like By Force or Meltdown or something like that, which are less likely, but could still do some work.
You typically run Echoing Truth over Rushing River. Yeah, I think Echoing Truth is just kind of like the mainstay, right? Josh, thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate it. And then
looks like Remy's going to have a pretty quick Trinisphere.
I think he's got a really good hand. He's got Chalice on 1. He's got Trinisphere on 2. Trinisphere is not the biggest of deals in this matchup. However, like later in the game, it really makes Petals just awful. That, and if they hit Omniscience, they still have to pay, which is kind of funny. Probably not.
Now cost 3.
Yeah, it's not particularly relevant, but it could be.
I could definitely see that be something put into play off of a show and tell if that were the case. So here we see Chalice on 1 coming down.
Now, Sneak and Show doesn't just get wrecked by Chalice on 1. It really just hits their cantrips. Their combo still works, so as long as they've got a good hand, this might not matter. But we'll see. We'll see.
Second island for Christian.
This Trinisphere is going to make the Petal in Christian's hand look so bad. You think he's?
Let's see if it resolves. I do see a Force of Will in Christian's hand.
Okay. I don't think Trinisphere is the problem.
Nor do I. Okay. And it looks like Remy's just going to kind of play things a little bit slower here anyway.
Yeah. He's got a Dimir Signet, and he's going to cast a Baleful Strix.
I kind of like this line.
Me too. All right. He finds a Polluted Delta. He might actually have an Ensnaring Bridge too, which in this matchup it's kind of cool because you can have like a full hand, and the Ensnaring Bridge is still going to do everything you want it to do. So this is going to be a sneak attack, and oh no,
That's
Jace. That's not what I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting at all.
Pretty good.
It really is.
Let's see what this Jace does here. Should probably just be Brainstorming would be my bet, but
yeah, I think so too. And Christian's got like 2 Force of Wills in hand, so the cantrips in his hand are actually doing something.
Sure.
Something more than nothing.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good spot to have Force of Will.
On Remy's side, we see that he has Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas in hand.
Okay.
and that could be an answer for this Jace pretty quickly.
I think that would beta force.
It would definitely probably like I would force that.
I would force it. I would force it definitely.
Hard to say definitely.
You want to know how I know? Because when I play that deck,
yeah,
I cast Tezzeret, and that's the only thing I care about resolving. It's the best card in the deck.
It's a pretty good one.
Everything else is pretty situational.
So we're gonna attempt a Tez. Christian's gonna give that a read real quick.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to check out what's going on here, and this is going to be a force. Okay. And he's going to pitch a force. This actually tells a lot about what's going on in Christian's hand. If Remy's paying a good amount of attention, he did not pitch anything that Chalice could get rid of.
Very true.
So I'd be like, what the heck is in his hand? All right, so
we know that there are a couple lowest pedals. We're going to see
volcanic
fetch,
here. Yeah.
Fetch grabbing a volcanic would be my guess, and that's going to reset the top of the deck for Jace. He gets to look at some fresh new cards, and if he finds combo, he's got the mana to do what he needs to do.
He does.
We know that he has at least one Lotus Petal in hand, so sneak attack, he has the mana for that. Show and tell, he obviously has mana for that.
Oh, this is funny. I actually see the Abyss in Remy's hand. I'm not sure why you'd keep that in against this deck.
Interesting.
There's not a lot of creatures that you really want them to be sacrificing. Cool card.
I guess it's an out to an Emrakul.
Being
show and tell.
Okay.
So
I guess
they show and tell in Emrakul. You show and tell in the Abyss.
Well, that's what's going to happen. Oh no,
that's an Ensnaring Bridge, and that's a Gristlebrand. Gristlebrand, pretty good. Let's see what Christian decides to do here.
Did he already brainstorm?
I'm unsure if he brainstormed yet or not. Regardless, he should probably draw 7 to start out with, and figure things out from there.
Yeah, pair with 2 guns for sure. Trinisphere, they just don't really care. Okay, he did already. Thank you. Talking and watching the game.
For sure.
It's harder than it appears.
So, we're going to draw 7.
I think that's a good choice.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Like that choice. 7 fresh new cards. Let's see, Omniscient, Sneak Attack. Couldn't quite get a look at the rest. A couple lands. Play out a Lotus Petal. Second Lotus Petal.
You're going to see another...
Well, if he has another show and tell here, or...
Nope, just
okay,
pass.
just going to pass. Interesting.
And oddly enough, I think if this Belfast attacked, I'd block. Alright, so that's kind of nothing of a draw for Remy, but it looks like this Abyss is probably going to come down and clean up this Gristlebrand. Yeah.
The Abyss coming down. Christian going to take a moment and read that one.
I think it's foreign, so so Remy's explaining. Yeah, so every upkeep, your cool creature is going to die.
Target cool creature.
Target cool creature. Yeah. And my Belfast gets to live among the strong.
Mm-hmm. As the pure artifact that it is.
Yep. So pure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably force this if I had it. I think he does. I'd go for it.
Does he have a third force?
Oh, maybe not.
So he pitched force to force earlier.
Then honestly,
so unless he drew another...
I'd rather a 7 then.
Yeah. I would definitely draw 7.
He needs to find an answer to the ensnaring bridge anyway, and it'd take like 3 turns for this Baleful Strix to actually get there. I think it's a pretty safe thing to just draw 7, try to find an answer to this, and make sure you can get in next turn.
The other play you can make is you can let it resolve. Remy's blanked on attacking for a turn. Thanks for the follow, Commander Root.
Commander Root.
So you could blank the attack for a turn, because they don't want you to gain 7. You just draw 7 for free.
Right.
At end of turn, you draw 7. Gristlebrand goes to the graveyard on your upkeep.
Okay.
Then you have a fresh grip of cards. You've got 14 cards plus a Jace Brainstorm.
Plus a Jace Brainstorm.
To figure out. And we already know he's got Omniscience and at least a sneak attack in hand. So it might be enough to get there.
All right. So looks like he's decided on his play. And this is
Wipe Away. Okay.
A Wipe Away.
So Wipe Away has split second, so it cannot be countered.
So it just bounces it, right?
Bounces to hand. So there's your answer for bridge. Now let's see if there's some other answers. It looks like we're going to see
we're going to see him draw some cards.
Draw 7 here.
I think you should have drawn 7 before you used the Wipe Away, but it's fine. You know, all of these things,
all fine.
All these things needed to happen.
Yep.
We're gonna draw a card, probably Brainstorm. Let's see if we can sneak attack in something good enough to win the game.
See an Emrakul too, so if he is able to get his mana,
well, Show and Tell would get Show and Tell would get Omniscience in, right?
Yep, I'm pretty sure he has Fetch Land and Sneak Attack, but if you can, you'd much rather get like Show and Tell in Omniscience and then get an Emrakul extra turn, right?
Right, and then and he could also Omniscience in his Sneak Attack, and on your extra turn you should be able to win.
Yeah, and there's just no coming back from that board state for Remy.
Wait, is Abyss on each upkeep?
Yeah.
So it would kill the Emrakul on the next turn?
You're right. It would. Yep. Yep. So here we see a Sneak Attack Emrakul coming in, and that's going to do it.
Yeah, he's just...
Remy at 14, not able to take that hit.
Did he... Well, he had the Baleful Strix, didn't he?
He'd sack his whole board.
I thought he had 6 lands. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, I think that was going to be game anyway.
I think even if he blocks there, he's very dead.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's take a look at our backup match here. Josh versus Calvin. We got to see kind of the end of game 1 where Calvin was able to get there with life totals pretty low. But this looks like a grindy one.
So the beauty of this 4-color deck is really the ability to play through decks like Miracles a lot more consistently, as opposed to decks like Grixis Delver, which can have a harder time with it.
Yeah, they probably run out of gas. I think this 4-color check pile kind of it just gets to warp into whatever it needs to be for each matchup. I don't think it's going to be particularly amazing against everything, but man, it's going to show up. It's always going to show up, which is just fantastic. I mean, here's a flashback on him to Torok, and it's going to clear out a couple of things that Calvin definitely did not want to see.
Two pretty awesome cards, and there we see another Supreme Verdict coming down. But,
Josh was not scared. He knew he had a. I'm sure he knew he had another Supreme Verdict sitting on top.
You saw 0 flips on that counterbalance, right? So you knew it was set up.
Yeah, and Calvin's creatures all hit the bin, and all right, let's reset.
Yeah,
you know.
But Josh still has 2 fewer cards, and Calvin able to reset here with another Deathrite Shaman, and we see an answer to that on the top, but it still has to be answered, so it's still card for a card.
Yep, and this looks like it's going to get Spell Pierced. Oh, yep, Brainstorm on top. Counterbalance is going to take care of that. Jace is more than likely going to resolve here, and I'd say from this point, Calvin with 1 card in hand, Josh sitting with a Swords for this Deathrite Shaman, and he's already brainstorming.
Yep,
like it's got to be Josh. This has got to be Josh's game. This looks wow. What a powerful 2 turns, right?
Wild. Such a board swing, like. That's kind of the way Miracles always wants to draw it up. Just, you know.
Absolutely.
Yep, I can definitely get more value than you in the long term. I can afford to play through your 2-for-1s because I'll get you with more.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of decks in Legacy really have board wipes. I think the most common one's got to be like Toxic Deluge out of the sideboard. But this Miracles deck, it plays with many.
Interesting seeing a minimum of 2 Supreme Verdicts here as well. Normally, the lists that I've been seeing have kind of been skimping on those. They've been running maybe 1. But as we know, Josh really likes to vary things up on what he runs.
I think at when we first started watching Josh play, I feel like he brought something different like every week. I think he's found something that's his consistent deck though. He's not changing a whole lot anymore.
So Jace doing its thing, brainstorming. We know that Josh has at least 2 actual brainstorms in hand, as well as a Swords, and couldn't quite see that last card.
I think he put the Council's Judgment back on top. But this is a Thoughtseize that's being cast, and it looks like Swords to Plowshares is going to take care of this Baleful Strix before that's able to happen. We see 2 Brainstorms and Fluster. This is an amazing hand. Yeah, take a brain. Sure. You know. Yeah, he's got to be feeling pretty good about that. And I think he's been leaving Council's Judgment on the top of the deck to oh no, that's an Entreat. Interesting. Very interesting. I feel like Entreat would be pretty good here. Maybe he knows Calvin's deck a little better, and he's just situating the win here.
Josh, very patient, able to wait for the timing that he wants to make sure that the coast is clear and make sure that he's going to be able to play through whatever comes his way.
I could also see him just brainstorming here just so that he can get it at, Entreat at the end of turn.
Yeah. It's definitely an option.
But let's see what Snapcaster wants to do.
I think we're looking at potentially Snapcaster Thoughtseize would be my guess.
That would make a lot of sense to me.
Could see Snapcaster try to grab. Yep, looks like Thoughtseize is the grab. And that's going to prompt a brainstorm.
Yeah, I think he'd like to counter this with the counterbalance.
Calvin's going to bolt here in response, thinking that there's no 1 on top, and he's correct.
Yeah, and this is gonna okay, take down Jace.
That draws Flusterstorm. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 spells, 5 spells.
And he had another lightning bolt, so it all gets taken care of. But he's gonna brainstorm here. He sees Entreat the Angels, and now that Calvin literally has no cards in hand, he can. Let's see. He can get 4 Angels. Probably.
Yep.
Yeah. Crack crack the fetch, and let's get a couple angels here. Not quite lethal in one turn, but something gives me a feeling they're going to get there. What do you think?
I think so. That brainstorm should be in the yard, but who's counting?
All right. And in our other match, it looks like there's a chalice. There's already 2 ensnaring bridges.
Wow.
And they're just both players are just treading water right now. So we'll catch up with them in just a moment.
And in for 16? Is that
not game? Lethal? Pretty sure. He was at 16, right?
16? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's game.
Right, let's jump back over. So Josh and Calvin are all evened up there. So we'll get a game 3 from them after we check out all the nonsense that's going on over here. Abyss is going to get countered this time.
That's going to draw a force. Fifth land pass, or 5th mana source pass.
He's just getting beaten down by Belflestrix.
Yeah. Well, Christian's got some time. If that's all that Remy has going on, I think Christian's pretty happy about that. I think that Chalice on 1 probably doing a decent amount of work at stopping Christian from being able to manipulate his deck to the point where he can assemble his combo. So we saw Wipe Away last game, which kind of begs the question how many other
bounce effects.
Like if there's an Echoing Truth, then these bridges aren't a problem, but if it's just Wipe Away, then double bridge starts to be a bit more of a problem.
Definitely.
Pedal pass. We see Remy with force.
Yeah, I think he's waiting to find another blue card to play this Padim. Or maybe he did.
Remy tapping for Padim. That's going to prove to be another problem spot for Christian. Padim able to draw Remy cards every turn and also protect those precious artifacts. And now we see Liliana to start going after Christian's hand, as well as eventually
the ultimate's probably relevant, but the plus probably isn't, especially where Chalice is on the board. I actually think he cast Padim to increase the clock.
Yeah. Cut it in half. Ooh, speaking of things that cut the clock.
Yep, that's a win next turn.
That will be a win next turn if that stays on the board.
I am kind of questioning the force of will in the Abyss this time. I mean, last time it was situated in a way that the Abyss was going to be a little obnoxious, but I think this was a hope to find something for Ensnaring Bridge, win with sneak attack, kind of a game anyway.
Yeah,
I probably would have let it resolve and force something a little more important. It's a little unfortunate for him that he wasn't able to get at least one of these Ensnaring Bridges.
Yep. I think that's more of a experience thing, not knowing quite exactly what to do.
Yeah.
But
all right, that'll do it.
That'll do. So Remy takes the match 2-1.
Need to learn how to use a mouse. All right, and we're in the beginning turns here with Calvin and Josh.
Right. Decent start on Calvin's side. Early pressure is always what you want to see before Josh is able to really set things up too much.
Absolutely. Making Josh cast a Terminus early is pretty annoying for Josh. Like he wants to cantrip in the early turns. Any time that you're making your opponent actually react to you instead of like set up. Like You're putting them further back.
Yeah, definitely. And just like Deathrite's ability to ping off of the cantrips that are played is also very relevant. Just that chip damage here and there is pretty impactful. You're looking at Josh at effectively 17 life so far off of fetch lands and 1 attack here. And that goes down to 15, being able to eat that ponder, and now you're looking at a much quicker clock than it appears.
Definitely.
Oh.
Not
Josh.
Here Josh is going, you didn't see anything. You don't know about that one. Alright, so Josh accidentally reveals to his opponent that there is a spell pierce in his hand. Not something I'd recommend to any of you viewers at home. I think you don't want your opponent to know about that kind of stuff. And I'm willing to bet pretty highly that it gets pitched to Force later because Calvin
as it turns out, that card loses a lot of value when your opponent knows it's in your hand.
Oh man. I love the mannerism. He just like puts his hands together and he's like, well, that's a thing that happened.
Right, Strixon for 1. Deathrite holding up, doing more damage. So in Josh's hand, we see Predict Swords, Spell Pierce, Council's Judgment. It looked like maybe a Brainstorm. On Calvin's side, I think I saw possibly a Lightning Bolt and a Snapcaster in hand.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Josh like flips the top of his deck over. Man,
Josh maybe a little flustered.
Maybe.
Here we see a hymn. And we're gonna see swords on
the Deathrite. Yeah, so he's going to cast this because he knows it's one of the most important things he can be doing.
Well, it's also kind of clever because Josh is forcing Calvin to choose whether he would prefer the hymn to resolve or Deathrite to activate.
Yeah.
It looks like Deathrite's just going to activate for mana. Calvin would much rather get this hymn to resolve here than the 2 damage. And now we're going to see a Flusterstorm.
Hey, how's it going, Starfire? Nick Major, what's up?
Hi, guys.
Welcome in.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'd say there's a pretty high chance that this Flusterstorm is going to get this.
Ooh, Calvin's going to Flusterstorm
Unless there's
back.
another Fluster.
Interesting. I think they're just discussing what the storm count is.
Where's the card shop? We are just south of Salt Lake City, Utah.
We'll put up a link for you.
For Paragon City?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if our site's actually up right now.
Oh, man. Maybe we won't.
Yeah, we're revising things.
Never
right
mind.
Yeah, Paragon City Games.
Just south of Salt Lake.
So they've got their little counters out here being like, okay, what are all the Flusterstorms targeting?
Yep. Oh, and now we're going to complicate things more with the surgical.
Yep.
So surgical coming down. And we get to see Josh's hand here.
Nick Major, not yet. We don't have a ton of Nick Fit players in our store. They've definitely been there before, but we haven't seen that. I know that Brian tried out a version of Food Chain that had spell. What the heck is the name of the card?
I don't know.
The blue 3-drop that searches for a 2-mana instant or sorcery. Man.
Oh, like the mystical tutor creature?
Yeah, kinda. Come on, chat, help me out. Almost done with work? Awesome, Captain QC, it's good to see ya. I kind of like being on this screen.
Alright, looks like things have resolved. Sword's got
surgical. Kind of surprising that's where he wanted to use it.
I'm sure he'd prefer to use it on like a Terminus, but
yeah. Spellseeker, thank you. Yeah, so somebody's used a little bit of Spellseeker, but
let's call it bad mystical tutor creature.
I mean, we can call it that.
That's kind of what I call it.
Yeah. Brian said he wasn't incredibly impressed, but I guess Food Chain players are kind of all looking at Spellseeker right now. It's a good way to go get your Manipulate Fate, and it's also a good creature to have on the board to exile to Food Chain. So
fair enough.
It does kind of a lot of things that you want it to do. You can also get removal spells like Abrupt Decay if you need it.
Yeah. So Josh drops down to 9 here, and Calvin doesn't have a lot going on. He has Lightning Bolt, he has Spell Pierce, he has Snapcaster, but Josh has got a lot of cards in hand. And just drew a Jace. I'd have to say this game favors Josh right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's probably only casting this Jace because he knows he can beat anything else.
Ooh, Red Elemental Blast is the card cast by Calvin. That's gonna get Spell Pierced.
He knew about that one.
Calvin
he knew.
Says, "Yeah, I can get that. I can pay for that."
That's fine. This was all setting up for a Flusterstorm.
I think Calvin can actually beat Flusterstorm if there actually is a Snapcaster in his hand.
Yeah, he definitely could. And it's pretty clear that Josh is set on this resolving.
Yeah, so you're saying Storm count is 4. Storm count should be 3, right?
Plus itself. So there's 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 copies, yeah. So Flusterstorm resolves. And then Jace is going to get Spell Pierced after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems good.
Okay. Well, that worked out in Calvin's favor. Josh down to 7.
Leovold's the draw.
Leovold is a great draw.
Yeah, that's a good one to get while your opponent's tapped out. I mean,
it didn't matter. Off the top.
I mean, I don't think it mattered anyway, right? Like, Josh had a Terminus in hand, too.
No, but Terminus in hand is so much worse for Josh because Calvin had the mana to, like, bolt, snap, bolt, maybe.
Yeah.
And that would put Josh really, really low.
I feel like to be a Miracles player, not only do you need to like play really, really tight all the time, but I also feel like you need to have a good relationship with your deck.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, so here we see Bolt Snapcaster.
As far as I know, he didn't set that one up, did he?
No, I don't think he did. I think that was just off the top.
He might have, but I don't remember a time when he set anything up.
So here we see Snap, Flusterstorm.
Yeah, that's gonna counter the Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
Good relationship with your dad. I mean, that's probably a fine thing to have too, but I don't see how that's going to help you much with your Magic playing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jace off the top for Josh just keeps him coming.
Yep, it's a good thing to have. Land number 7. We've got a counterspell backup, and I think he's just going to let this Brainstorm resolve and see what happens. Yeah, Miracles is for orphaned folk, so yeah, that doesn't really work. You can't have a good relationship with your dad and play Miracles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Knew there had to be a catch somewhere.
Yeah, there it is. Found it.
All right, so Calvin fetches away the top of his library, shuffles back in a couple creatures from Terminus. Josh looking pretty well in control. At one point, it looked like Calvin could have kind of just barely eked out that win under Josh's control. But
yeah, I think the top decks have been really good for Josh, and I think he's played everything about as good as he could. So
he's the bug control dude there. There's a couple bug control players that come on occasion. So
yeah,
I know Bryce plays that sometimes, and he's not playing today.
He doesn't usually play that though. Zach's playing that deck right now, and so is TJ.
Yeah.
So we have at least 2 who are on Sultai control at the moment.
So Colgan's command gets countered. No real surprise there. I think if you're Calvin, you're starting to get into that helpless feeling mode of that Jace is so well at accomplishing. Josh with almost a full grip. So I see predict. Get that Terminus off the top. Draw 2, and back to basics is a pretty good one.
I feel like that's a good one to cast.
Have to imagine that Josh is going to add to his board very soon. Counterbalance. And
back to basics. No, he's thinking about it.
Well, I think he's considering that he's tapping down his 2 Tundras, but
he doesn't have to cast it this turn, but man, it'd be...
I mean, it shuts Calvin off of 4 mana currently.
4. Yeah. Calvin does have 2 basic, or he can get 2 basics off these fetches.
Yep.
So it wouldn't just kill him, but man, it would do a lot.
Yeah. Josh just lets it go.
A lot.
Here we see Leovold.
2 Council's Judgments in hand.
Yeah. I think Josh is just kind of happy that Calvin's tapping more mana again. Ooh. And Strix as well. Yeah, Josh is very happy about this and cannot untap quick enough. So starting things off, Back to basics.
I'm gonna cast
then
back
we're
to
going
basics.
to wrath away your stuff next
that
turn.
resolves? Yeah, let's do it now.
Yeah, let's wrath it. Wrath it.
I don't need tundras.
Wrath it. Oof.
and let's go up.
We'll plus on you. You can keep it. Calvin says, I think I'll crack my clutches.
Guess we'll go get that swamp in an island.
Ooh.
Oh, he has an Abrupt Decay?
Calvin had Abrupt Decay, so he goes and fetches up, gets Abrupt Decay, deals with that back to basics. That's keeping Calvin in it a little bit. Still has a lot to deal with on the board.
Not a ton, but yeah, it's still a lot. Falling back in my seat. It's like, it's bad, guys. Next thing you know, you're going to see me dozing off. That's bad.
Calvin with Jace of his own. That's going to resolve. Brainstorm. We know Josh has an answer for this.
I think there's going to be a vote. Preordained's going to put the top two on the bottom, and there'll be a draw there.
Fresh draw, and there is a brainstorm as well. Looks like we're going to see a him here. That could be big. We'll see what happens.
He needs to hit both to cancel his judgment. Oh, that'd be crazy.
Let's see.
Nope.
Ponder in one, so one cancels judgment down. And Entreat off the top.
Yeah, I think this will clean up the game next turn.
Yeah, that's probably going to do it. So, 4 angels in play. Jace could down tick and buy a turn, maybe? Assuming that Josh doesn't have land plus judgment. There's the land.
I mean, it's got to be down, like, right? If you want to live, you're down ticking.
Unless Calvin has something like Deluge or something like that, but
yeah, Deluge could be good. Doesn't look like that's what he's found, and that should be it.
Yep. We see Lightning Bolt. Any chance that you might squeak by?
You think it's going to be Lightning Bolt Culligan's command, or he wants like...
Maybe. We see
I don't see the like counterbalance not getting this, or Josh not having a counterspell though.
I mean, you're on like a 2%er, right? So you might as well go for the line that wins. Deathright's not gonna do it. That was definitely a Dreadbore.
Dreadbore a token. Were you expecting Dreadbore?
Dreadbore. I was not expecting Dreadbore. Dreadbore. Oh, we see a 3 on top countering Leovold. Interesting.
Alright. I'm going to live to see another turn here.
Does that give...
He's going to kill Jace and put
are there any outs here?
8 damage on Calvin.
So I kind of feel like Jace should bounce the Deathrite here. But it kind of depends. Alright, that makes more sense.
Brian! Hey, what's up? How was your rehearsal thing?
Hey, Brian. All right. So
yeah, and Josh gets this one.
Cleans it up. Dreadbore. I did not expect Dreadbore.
Duh. I don't know what you guys were expecting to see today.
Legacy staple Dreadbore.
You know, I walked into this tournament thinking, man, it's just gonna be Dreadbores and Spell Seekers today.
The Ring Bear.
Still doing it. You're the Ring Bear. Oh man, the bear of bad news. Yeah, right. Don't get married.
Well, all you have to do is grin and bear it.
I tried doing that once.
How'd that go?
Well, they're not together anymore. So.
Oh, no.
Surprise. Okay. Let's get ready for round 2, guys. Nicest matchup in Legacy. You know what?
Color versus Miracles.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with the matchup. I really don't. Like, both players are going to interact with each other a lot. There's a lot of back and forth. Both players have a really, really high chance to win, and the skill really shows. I appreciate watching matchups like that.
Yeah.
It's the Miracles versus Miracles that I'm like, oh my goodness, this is never going to end.
I think there are interesting points in those games, but overall it's just kind of like, it's a lot more interesting when you're playing the matchup than when you're watching it. Like, I think from our point of view, where we have so much information, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, this is the way it's going to go down.
Right.
But
the players don't see that, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns.
But sometimes you get to see some cool stuff too, like Dreadbore.
Sometimes
Dreadbore is sweet.
The funny part about Dreadbore, like why Dreadbore though? You know, like it's got to be for Jace's. You have to have Jace in mind when you're picking Dreadbore for your deck. It's cheap enough to snap back, so I get that. Kills any creature.
Dreadbore, Liliana in like the mirror, or in like the Grixis matchup.
Yeah, the Flusterstorm sequencing was very good.
Yeah.
From both players.
For sure.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah, Josh pushed so hard on resolving that Jace.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and next thing you know, and Treat's just living the life. You think angels are nice? Well, they're not. They will kill you.
Angels are nice when they're on your team.
Yeah. Where I don't play a lot of white cards, I'm pretty sure angels are just rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
Yep. All right, we should have pairings going up here. Oh yeah, we already have them. Sweet.
All right. Ooh. Cool.
It says Kyre is Matt and Matt is Kyre. I don't know what you're referring to. But if Matt is Kyre, that's fine.
Our names are in opposite points under.
Oh, hey, look.
I'm in fact not Kyre.
Let me fix it. I think I can fix that. That seems like an easy fix. Now everybody thinks that we're like the same people.
I've been confused for worse.
Hey, I'm Kyre. This is Matt. Okay, let's get it all set up then.
Yeah.
Thank you for the information, Austin. Our chat wasn't helping.
13 players today.
Yeah, kind of a low amount. We've like our Fridays have been a lot smaller during the summer months. We kind of knew that was going to happen, but
it is summer and there's been a lot of like bigger events recently, so a lot of people are more interested in doing those than going to FNM.
Okay, so we have a couple really, really interesting matchups, which I'm excited for this round. We have Corey, who I believe is on Steel Stompy.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna start there. Oh, sorry. Let's start there because we just watched Tezzeret.
Yeah.
So this is Corey on our left, and he whooped me on Tuesday with Steel Stompy. It can be a scary deck if it does what it's supposed to be doing.
I asked Terry about his deck before the tournament, and he said it's bland with some spice. And I was kind of confused.
I think that means he's playing Grixis Delver and he has a foil French Bitter Blossom somewhere in the deck.
So I asked him, you know, what that meant in terms of, you know, equivalency. You know. So, well, it's kind of like white bread with Tabasco sauce on it. He said at one point he had something like 11 one-ups in the sideboard before he came to his senses. So we'll see what happens. I think that does mean he's on Grixis. Probably with a couple of spicy sideboard slots, but nothing too out of the norm in the main. We'll see.
And our backup match will be Remy on Tezzerator, and then Jeff will be on Death and Taxes. I actually like both of these matchups quite a bit.
Excited to see the Steel Stompy matchup.
So something I do know about this matchup is it's real good for Steel Stompy. This is one of the decks that really does stomp down on Grixis Delver. But I mean, this is also Terry playing Grixis Delver, so no. And it's almost like he's a good player or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him too much credit.
Terry starting us off with the Death Rate.
Fetch, Underground Sea, Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but have you ever heard Terry say something along the lines, or that having anything to do with these two cards on stream? I feel like he has.
I think this might be the first time.
Really? Shows what I know.
So Darksteel Citadel, the play for Corey. That's not as explosive a start as you might want. We do see Wasteland in hand, and looks like a factory. No.
Let's cast 2 Delvers this turn.
Okay. Double Delver. So if those flip, that's going to be a pretty quick clock here.
Yeah, I actually say that Corey's in a tough spot from this position. Corey was probably thinking that his Chalice was going to do a lot, but
right
now I don't even know if I'd cast Chalice. Yeah,
Ballista. That's going to get dazed. You knew Terry had to have a decent hand, seeing as it only has had 1 land. Delver's flip.
Lightning bolt off the top. Look, he's just putting a 3 counter. He's like, I don't want to flip these. That's weird. Usually is the checklist card, so it's kind of strange. Yep. And we're gonna see a Wasteland take care of this Caracas.
Yeah. Wow. And just like that, that's 6 damage coming across this turn. Potential 8 next turn.
Wow, this is brutal. So it does show that there's no days coming, which is kind of a good thing for Corey, but at the same time, like, man, he doesn't have a soul land in hand. Yeah,
Terry could even cast that bolt
you see that?
on the turn, so
he just packs it up.
Turn. Yeah.
All right, Corey will be on the play this next game. His chalices are going to be a lot better. Let's jump over here.
That was blisteringly quick.
That really was
for Delver.
All right, and we see Thalia making this spyglass cost a little bit more. And if I had to guess, this is going to either name the equipment that was fetched up by the Stoneforge Mystic. Either that, or it's just going to name Stoneforge Mystic. It's got to be on one of those two. I think once we see Stoneforge Mystic attack, we'll know.
Yep.
If it doesn't, then probably not.
Looks like it's on Stoneforge, so in for 3.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Especially if Jeff grabs something like a Batter Skull or something like that. Makes a lot of sense.
With this Thalia on the board, if I'm Jeff, I'm probably just hitting for 3 a turn and just porting down this Ancient Tomb.
Yep.
at least for the next turn to see what the next land is. But you know what? He's got a Brightling in hand. He's also got a Recruiter. He's got some good 3-drops. But yeah, he decides to go for this port play. What? Can't go changing things, all wills and nils. I changed the things, Brian. I don't know what to tell you.
So Remy
this
cleverly is able to get explosives with 2 counters by having X equal 1 and paying for it off of the...
This is actually a play that I made a mistake on once.
Yeah.
And like my opponent had to tell me after the match, they're like, hey, so you can actually do this with Thalia.
Yeah.
And I think it was my first time ever playing with an EE. So I was like, yeah, could have done that. Yeah, but here it is.
With Caracas, though, that's able to save that Thalia. And explosives on 2 would get rid of that Spyglass as well. Although it would get rid of the Stoneforge.
Right. So with EE more than likely going to take care of these creatures this next turn. I think we're going to see Jeff play a threat, something that can beat down a little bit. I think that Brightling's going to be real good.
Yeah, play a threat.
And we got a Mom as well. Nope, he's gonna port.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so he's gonna port this turn, and he's gonna play Brightling with Mom Protection. That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, let's port the Ancient Tomb.
I like that this allows you to kind of hold up protection on Thalia here through Caracas.
Yep.
As you see Jeff bring that back to hand. I think Remy's just happy to get a Fog, to be honest, though.
Really, he was able to make use of that mana, and. However, this fetch, Remy's going to play Liliana and get rid of this Mom. I think that's exactly where he wants to be.
Remy had a pretty low life total now. 6 is not a lot of life to work with, but
no.
Empty board is definitely the spot where Remy wants it to be at this point.
Dealing with Thalia like every single turn for the rest of the game, though, it is going to be annoying. Well, he's not going to have a ton of... Man, it's just walkers in hand for Remy. I see Liliana. I think 2 Tezzerets and a Jace. The Thalia's just been doing work. Yep, here's a Liliana, and I imagine we're going to see a minus, and we're going to get rid of this Mom. Seems like a pretty good thing to do.
Yep. Jeff says, I'll choose this one.
Let's see if our other matches started back up. They're getting pretty close.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna focus on that one. This seems like a pretty sweet game, though.
So Jeff could play out 2 threats this turn.
I think he should.
But it would take down the shields, right?
I think he should, yeah. So he casts Brightling, he casts Thalia. I like this a lot. Remy's deck isn't exactly known for removal. Yeah, he did play Liliana, but still, I just wouldn't count on a whole lot of removal besides like maybe some Toxic Deluges coming out of the sideboard.
Sure. And Ancient Tomb is almost a liability at this point.
Right. And what's cool about both of the creatures that Jeff has is that Caracas saves 1, and the other one just gets saved by itself. This is Ancient Tomb number 2 coming down for Remy, which may as well just not be a land at all, because... Yeah, let's finish this game. We'll jump in on this one in a minute. I'll just narrate real quick. Terry's got a... There's a turn 1 Caracas for Corey, and Terry's going to play a Deathrite Shaman on turn 1. Pretty similar to the last game. But Corey might be able to get a Chalice down.
Yeah, we see Chalice in hand, so pretty big difference, draw versus play.
Sorry, trying to keep people updated. I really think both of these matches are good. So
this Brightling just like threatens lethal next turn, doesn't it?
Yes, almost. It can hit for 5. It's a 3/3, and you can give it +1/-1.
There's a tomb tap.
Yes, it will hit for lethal. Alright, this is going to be a Jace. This is probably just... Yeah, this is just going to bounce the Brightling, I would imagine.
Pretty much has to. Jeff has plenty of cards in hand to discard, so it's not going to go away that easily. In
our other match, Corey's able to get a Chalice down on 1, and that's a turn 2 Chalice, so Terry plays a second land and passes back. Kind of a slow game. Yeah, and if I'm Jeff, I'm probably just gonna clear this Jace. I don't really want to deal with its shenanigans, so...
Yeah, I don't think you're too worried about Liliana. Like,
no.
Liliana downtick gets stopped by Caracas. Liliana uptick, you're not too concerned about.
He wants to cast a creature here, though.
True.
So the downtick could matter, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Honestly, I'd let the Thalia go and then just have lethal off the Brightling.
I mean, the other option is... Remy's at 4 life. You could knock him to 2. I think that line's a little greedy, though. I think it's better to clear Jace, play a Brightling pass.
I think that's what I would do. So on our other table, we just saw Ravager come down, and then Terry goes Ancient Grudge your Chalice,
Ooh.
Flashback Ancient Grudge, kill your Ravager, Ooh. And there's no creature to put the counters on. So now Terry's just in the clear, and once again Corey is unable to find any soul lands. He's just sitting with Mishra's Factory, Caracas, and an Inventor's Fair. Yeah.
We see Lodestone in hand for Corey as well.
Yeah. A couple
looks
of them,
like
actually.
A 4th mana source as well, but still going.
All right, so Jeff. Sorry, focusing on the match we're actually watching. Jeff plays a Revoker, and this is probably just going to name Jace, and then he's got lethal this next turn. I don't think there's anything Remy can do. So here,
yep.
I'm going to give this one to Jeff.
I think Jeff's got that one.
And let's jump over to this other match.
So Terry with a Brainstorm. Ancient Grudge is exactly what Corey didn't want to see this game. At least not this early. And now Wasteland able to take care of the workshop.
Yeah.
Factory.
Yeah.
I can never remember which one.
It's the Factory. Mishra's Factory.
Factory. That's right.
Just remember the workshop is why they call it shops in Vintage.
Yeah, right.
That's not the one that we have.
You know, I should know. But
it confused me for so long. All right. Yeah, Ballista on 1. This is just gonna
kill the Delver.
Beat the Delver. And Terry does have to worry about these Lodestone Golems.
Yep.
One more land, and those suckers are live.
For sure.
And it's not like Terry has a good clock right now. Oh man, you know how I said I gave that one to Jeff? Jeff found a bridge. So now they're just sitting there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a problem.
That's a timely draw, is what it is.
Well, I think Jeff attacked the wrong Planeswalker. If he attacks Jace instead of Lily, this might not happen.
Yeah, maybe.
But Terry with another Wasteland, doing his best to keep Corey off of mana. Down goes the Inventor's Fair. And another Delver and another Deathrite enter the battlefield.
Nope, Jeff did get it. Looks like he just had a Force of Will sitting in hand and wasn't able to get rid of it, so.
Wild.
Real wild. Yeah, this game's been crazy too. I knew these could be good matches. I knew it. I want to see them both so bad. I'm confusing our chat like crazy just because I want to see them both.
Corey finds the second fair, but is still 1 mana away from casting those lodestones.
Yeah, Terry would love to see another Wasteland come off the top.
I think that's pretty good, too.
Yep, upkeep, we see a Kolaghan's Command off the top, and that's a good card against this deck.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I think this is about as one-sided as I've ever seen this matchup.
I actually kind of can't believe it. I mean, that's the thing about Grixis Delver, though.
Yeah.
You know, like, it may have bad matchups, but it always has the ability to go under them.
Yeah.
Most decks cannot go under their bad matchups. Most decks. You know, they have to deal with them head on, and I think that Grixis Delver's Force of Wills, Dazes, and the ability to just play a couple 1-mana things that get in there, you know, they don't really lose to any one card. It's just a great deck.
Terry floats a mana in response to being wastelanded. I think Corey's kind of come to the realization that if he's gonna be in this game, he needs to draw a soul land.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not only that, but like these Lodestone Golems have lost their window.
Now, there's a city, so Corey able to play a Lodestone Golem, and
I genuinely do think the window's gone, though.
Yeah, well, we know that there's that Kolaghan's Command,
yeah,
which Terry has the mana to pay for. You're facing down 3 damage on board this turn and a potential 6 to 8 damage on board next turn.
Yeah, the race is definitely in Terry's favor at the moment.
And Lodestone just can't block. Like,
yeah,
doesn't block a flyer, doesn't block life drain.
I mean, what really does?
Yeah. Get on it, Wizards. We need a new 1-drop.
You need a 1-drop that blocks people's life drain effects. I'll just say tap. Block target life gain activation.
Alright, so we're gonna see Kolaghan's Command come down.
Mm-hmm. 2 lands exiled by the Deathrite Shamans to pay for that extra tax from the Lodestone Golem. And I imagine this is just going to hit Lodestone and...
Do you say 2 damage to you?
I don't...
Be tempted to.
Does it increase the clock?
Corey's at 11.
Actually, I think it does increase the clock. He did discard.
Goes to discard.
So... Yeah.
Yeah, I think 2 would have put him to 9.
I think 2 would have been a little better.
Yeah,
not by a lot. This game's probably over anyway, so I don't think it really mattered what the other mode was.
Yeah, that fair is 1 artifact away from being active, so no life gain's gonna be relevant for that. There's Lightning Bolt.
I know he has his Staticaster in his hand already.
Should have guaranteed lethal next turn. In for 3. Yeah. I think Terry's got this game.
I think so too.
Draws for Corey. Corey could potentially draw another Walking Ballista, get rid of the Delver, and then live another turn. Not anymore, though. That is a Gurmag Angler. Interesting.
Yep, so he's activating his Deathrite and casting Gurmag.
Yeah.
I think that fish wants to fight with the Lodestone Golem.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think the fish is just gonna swim right by.
Nah, I think they're gonna fight.
So Corey could go down to 6 to play.
Terry's
like
making.
They're talking about the number of artifacts necessary for life gain.
Wanted to make sure he knew what Inventor's Fair did. Has not been relevant this game, surprisingly enough. Yeah. Well, Ancient Grudge plus Kolaghan's Command are pretty good at keeping that sucker down.
For sure. So Vault Scourge, pay 2 life for a 1/1 lifelinker. Does have flying, is able to block a Delver.
Metalcraft Online, Inventor's Fair, and Opal up and going. It's totally relevant and stuff. He gets to block for a turn. Terry has a Lightning Bolt, though.
He's got Bolt.
Yeah. Just get rid of this Vault Scourge and just come crashing. Or that. Yeah. Yep. That works, too.
That's the play.
Yeah,
everybody in.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah, so we're going to block, go up to 7, take 5, go to 2.
Yep.
No more Metalcraft.
Nope.
It was long-lived.
No more Metalcraft. Terry posing lethal in 4 different ways.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And it looks like that's the game. So Terry takes that match 2-0 in some pretty dominating fashion.
Yeah, it was... that's just a good deck, you know. All right, let's jump over here. Looks like we've got some serious mana issues for Remy at the moment. Ooh. And Jeff's just beaten down with some creatures, and it looks like he's got a Leonin Relic Warder that took a explosives, which is kind of sweet because even if it dies, then it comes back with 0 counters. It's the hotness.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
Here we have Athalia, and that's going to wrap things up. Jeff takes that match as well. So, wow.
That was fast.
That was a lot quicker than last game. It looked like Remy stumbled on mana and was really relying on that explosives to hold the ground. Mm-hmm. And Jeff had the answer for it and was able to run away with that one.
All right, guys. We've got Death and Taxes 2-0. We've got Grixis Delver 2-0.
2-0. And we've got
all
some
good stuff.
Other interesting decks in the room. I know there's Roger's here, and he's on one of 3 decks that he showed me, either Elves or Infect or Grixis Delver. But he was leaning towards Infect.
That probably means his buddy Josh is here, huh? He's playing D&T as well. He's like a newer player, just jumping in.
Yep. So we got more D&T in the room.
The Death and Taxes players are coming back.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been moments where different decks have kind of ruled our meta. Maybe not ruled our meta, but
kind of goes in waves.
But been the most popular deck. And while I've been here, Death and Taxes was incredibly well represented, and you know, I was playing Punishing JUN. I did very well in that meta, and then afterwards, people went to Red Black Reanimator. Guys, that deck. I mean, it's super powerful, but man, that's the most boring deck. It's so powerful, though. I know we have at least one player playing it tonight, so
it's definitely powerful. That's for sure.
Well, chat, it's good to see that we have people here. You guys have been very, very quiet today. So why don't you give us some topics to talk about while we have a good 23 minutes to hang out for 23 minutes. 23 minutes. We're gonna make it. I know I'm gonna go get a water. So you guys think about what you want to talk about. Just ask questions.
Yeah.
We need you. Do you need anything? A snack or another water?
Water would be great. Well, so how's everyone doing today? I don't know what you guys have been doing. I've been spending a lot of time playing Cube. And not nearly as much time playing Legacy as I'd like to be. Hey, how's it going, CVN? But I had a really sweet Cube deck today. I was playing blue-white. I had Ancestral Recall and Tameo and what's that?
People still being quiet.
Teferi. See, veritable CVN's talking.
Sweet.
I was just talking about this awesome Cube deck I had.
You been playing some vintage Cube?
Yeah.
All right.
I actually ended up ulting Tameo.
Okay.
With Ancestral Recall in hand and milling out my opponent by making them draw cards. It was great.
That's the dream. Oh man, that's fantastic. Man, I keep watching streams of people playing this Cube, and I never see them get power ever. And then I want to say there was like 2 straight tournaments. I was watching some Cube last night. 2 straight tournaments. Not only did he not get any power,
yeah,
but none of his opponents played any piece of power.
Huh?
It felt like Legacy Cube.
Huh?
It was weird.
Maybe I'm just lucky. I seem to get power at least once out of every 2 drafts, and I've certainly had decks with like 3 pieces of power in it before.
Gross. Gross. Man, Cube is like easily my favorite thing to watch. I had Terry come in. He goes, "Why do you watch these streams? They're so awful." and I'm going, well, I mean, I just like watching Cube, alright? Leave me alone.
I was playing online, on the Vintage Cube online, but every once in a while, Kyer has a Cube that he maintains, and we run some local stuff here with it.
Yeah, mine's a 720 unpowered. Mm-hmm. It's a better balance that way, and a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So,
I think if I were to make a Cube myself, I'd want it to be unpowered, but I do like occasionally playing with power.
I've thought about just proxying up all the things that turn an unpowered Cube into a power Cube. It's like 25-ish cards. Mm-hmm. It'd be easy to do, and we could draft power if we want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I like what you have set up as well, where you have like Conspiracy as like a subset.
Yeah,
you can add in, or you have like.
You know, last time we played it, it was Stockton's birthday, and I said, "All right, birthday boy, are we adding in the Conspiracy and like a couple uncards? They're not very silly. They're actually pretty fair uncards." But and he goes, "Oh yeah, we're playing with Conspiracy." You know, then you have people like Forcing World Knit and like Sovereign's Realm and like it's great.
That's great.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, drafting can be a lot of fun to watch, especially if you can kind of see what people's reasonings are for taking the cards that they take and stuff like that. But I really feel there's no greater benefit if you want to improve than actually drafting yourself.
Right. And I love drafting. The problem is though, is I'll be drafting like mono green, and I see Tinker in the 3rd pack, and I go, "We're changing. we're moving.
Now Tinker.
Green blue Tinker. Don't worry. We're gonna find one target, and that's all we're gonna need. I already have 2 signets. We're doing great." We all have our preferences, and I love playing the brown decks.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I'm a big fan of like green-blue opposition, loose vowel movement,
giving us that 1 penny cheer.
That 1 cheer.
Yeah, to take the lead in today's cheer chat.
Thank you, buddy. Bryce is gonna be pissed.
Yeah, Bryce is gonna be mad. He said hi at the beginning of the stream, but we haven't seen him since. Nailed it. Yeah, had it. No, I can't remember the last thing I cubed or I actually had in my cube. All I know is that like for the first couple of years I had my cube, like I tore it up with it. I mean, it makes sense. I know the cube better than anybody, my own cube better than anybody else. But these last couple of cubes I've done, I've been getting wrecked like real hard. People keep getting better at it. It's obnoxious. It's absolutely obnoxious. Well, what are you guys hoping to see? What's going on legacy wise? I don't know if you saw, but we kind of had a trial run of our first weekly modern tournament yesterday.
Yeah.
That may be a thing that starts happening more often.
Big modern event here tomorrow.
So Terry and I will be here. I believe it starts at noon. Oh man, I really should double check that. I really should. Well, here, I'll check on my phone. I think it starts at noon. I want to get that right so people know to jump in if they want to see modern. I know that most of our chat is pretty exclusive to Legacy, which I think is like the most beautiful thing in the world.
Why it should be.
Yeah. But we'll see. We have a lot of modern players in this store, and like I think like the biggest reason we've been wanting to do modern so much is that we're getting like 20 people, like probably average 20 people average for our Legacy tournaments, and we're getting like well over 30 for our modern tournaments. And we have people asking us all the time, hey, when are you guys gonna start streaming modern? When are you gonna start streaming modern? And we tried 3 rounds yesterday. I wish they had gone a little. I wish it had gone better. I wish it got better, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll see.
Yeah. I told my roommate that. I'm like, I wish it had gone better, and he goes, why? Like, do you just not know the decks? And I'm like, no, I know the cards. I know the cards. I've played plenty of modern. I just haven't played in a little bit.
Why didn't they force that?
Why didn't they force that? Your shop's Legacy rarely fires. You know, I feel like I hear that all the time. It's just not easy to get a good Legacy community. And,
very true.
And even before this shop existed, so I don't know if you heard us talking before, but we're Paragon City Games, and we are located just south of Salt Lake City, Utah. And I've been playing in this area for a little over a decade now, and Legacy has always been one of those things where like they struggled to get 8 people, and they met at kind of like a neutral location where like, you know, no store in this state had Legacy staples. Yeah. You know, we couldn't get anything to fire. And then what's weird is that Paragon opened up, and you guys, if you guys know Brian at all, he freaking loves Legacy, and so do I. And he's like, I guess the Legacy community, like 6 or 7 people come to him, and they're like, hey, we would really like to see if we can get these to fire. Let's see if we can get them to fire. And next thing you know, they just started happening. Yeah. And then we had like a real meta, and all of a sudden we're getting like 20
turnout. Yeah, real decks, and wow.
Not only that, but like I feel like most people who are playing in our events right now have access to multiple decks. Yeah. And it's cool that we can get 20 people, and then we'll get like 5 more just off of players who don't have the Legacy cards and want to play. Right. Which I think is great. You have 8 to 10 players that want to. It's a military and college town. Yeah. Okay.
Hard to run, for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to start somewhere. And if you keep at it, then maybe you can get more people involved and make that turn into something that's just a lot easier.
The problem, I think the biggest problem is that if somebody sees that there is already a Legacy community, and they're like, wow, 20 people are showing up by like 2 times a week to play Legacy, you're going to see a lot more people like be interested in jumping in. If the community's already there, they just want in, you know. Whereas if you don't have a solidified Legacy community already, it's gonna be much harder to convince people to buy deck.
Agreed. Getting people to buy in, especially the way the prices are and the unlikelihood of getting a tournament to fire is really kind of frustrating when you're first starting out.
Yeah, it really is. Not only that, but like for me to get into the format, like I had to sell a bunch of stuff. Sorry, somebody's at the door. It's probably Terry wanting to yell at me.
Hey, do you have 4 hangerback walkers?
No.
We're making Brian's deck great again.
Why?
Why? Because I don't know. Because Brian's got the wrong build.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His build is like day 1 build.
Dang it, Brian!
It's day like 424. Okay, Corey made it last time.
Okay. Well, nice win. You got there.
No celebrates. Mailman doesn't celebrate. Terry doesn't celebrate. Just do my job, boss.
Oh, okay. Bye. Coming into the casting room to ask us if we have hangerback walker. I don't know. Yeah,
Same town issues. Yeah. Yeah. As far as non-rotating formats go, Modern is a lot easier for people to maintain and keep and get into.
You know, there's a lot to like about Modern, okay? But being a Legacy player, there's a lot to not like about Modern.
Very true.
Like, honestly, if you've been playing Standard for a long time and you're like, I want to get into an Eternal format, Modern makes a ton of sense. Like, it's going to be a lot more fun than Standard. Your cards maintain value a lot better. Just everything's going to be better, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, like I've had this issue is like I thought Modern was so cool, and now that I'm actually playing Legacy, I'm like, Modern. it's not too exciting. But you know what? I'm going to be excited about it because I'm going to be streaming Modern on a semi-regular basis at least. So. You guys can expect that out of me. I'll act excited. I promise. You'll just see me act way more excited about Legacy. That's what it's going to end up being.
Like Modern's not a bad format, but I think the really cool thing about Legacy is you get to play really powerful strategies, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that your opponent's doing powerful things because you're also doing powerful things. So. Everything's broken, but in a sense, nothing is broken, right? So
yeah,
you get to play kind of these. You have these matchups that are complete haymaker matchups where you throw cards, at each other basically and see what sticks. But you also have these matchups that are really kind of nuanced once you get under the surface of it and figure out like, oh, well, they have this, so I have to play around it this way, or like. This hand's actually not a good keep because I need to fight through this obscure thing. So,
yeah, it's interesting. And you know what's another thought is like even before we had a Legacy community, when you were playing Standard in this state, did you feel like there was a big Modern or extended scene?
Modern waxed and waned a little bit.
Because I don't think it was very big until like Kaladesh kind of ruined everything and just everybody just went straight into Modern. I haven't seen Modern so big here either.
Yeah.
Standard dies and the other formats thrive. Yeah.
But yeah, in general, it's just really hard to get communities that don't have enough players to fire a tournament, regardless of what format it is, whether it's Legacy or Modern or whatever, to be able to fire consistently.
Because honestly, like getting 8 people together, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Standard scene started dying with all the rotation changes. Yeah,
okay.
That makes sense. One of the benefits of non-rotating formats like Legacy, like Modern, are your decks stay relevant a lot longer. In Modern, there's always kind of that ban threat or things get printed that have new interactions, but there's a lot less of that in Legacy. There's a little bit of it there as well. But.
I did get to see the scene, not in Denver, but I did get to see this scene in Colorado Springs. and they had a huge standard scene when I last went there. But yeah, like it's not until like this last year that I've seen so much modern and so much legacy.
Yeah, Bay Area, that seems to be a pretty common thing out here as well. Is you'll have people show up with anywhere from 1 to 4 decks, and a lot of times you'll see them get loaned out in the room, and it's really great to see.
No, it really is, because sometimes you get these skilled players who actually want to challenge themselves. Legacy is a lot more challenging than modern, and I can honestly say that because I've been through that change.
Yeah.
And I like seeing those people be like, you know what, I don't have the money, and that's okay, because these people are willing to lend out decks, which is so great too, because I remember being a big part of the standard community like years ago, and like people were like sketchy about lending decks. Like people, people like held their cards so close, and then the value of the decks go up by thousands of dollars. Next thing you know, here are the legacy players like, here, come play, please,
come play with this $8,000 deck.
Really, please.
Banned and restricted hopes and dreams.
No, I don't. I think I like where things are.
I think things are okay where they are.
Yeah.
You could make arguments to ban a couple of cards. I really don't want to see Gitaxian Probe being banned.
Yeah, I think it's in the top 3 on the chopping block.
Are on that bandwagon of wanting Probe to get banned. I'm not.
Yeah. And people,
Deathrite Shaman.
Deathrite, yeah.
Deathrite Shaman's the other big one that a lot of people are on the train for, and I'm kind of take it or leave it with it. Like, if it got banned, it wouldn't like upset me, but I don't think that it necessarily needs to get banned. I think the format's healthy.
The more I play and watch the format, the less I think there needs to be a ban.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that the percentages don't lie, and that Grixis Delver is probably higher than it should be, but also, so let's put it this way. I went down to Vegas.
Yeah.
All right. And I played in side events the entire weekend. I played 7 tournaments? I played in 7 tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many times I got paired up against Grixis Delver?
How many?
0.
0 times.
I did not see Grixis Delver.
7 tournaments?
Not only that, but I never saw Grixis Delver around me either.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy, and I just think that goes to show that people play their decks, the decks that they want to be playing, which I think is amazing for the community.
Yeah.
And the format, honestly. I think it's good for the format too.
Yeah, Bay Area, I'm with you. You can have your death rights.
well, we're gonna let you keep
play as many greedy decks as you want. I'm all about the greed.
Oh man. We've made it most of the way.
They were all main event.
Well, there was no main event for Legacy though. Well, yeah. I mean, of course. Every time we see a Legacy GP, Grixis Delver is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, it should be,
But I don't think it's even like terribly high in percentages. Mm-hmm. Like, if you looked at the percentages from the last Legacy GP, like Grixis Delver made up less than 20% of the field, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Which I think is good enough.
I think it might have been under 15.
I think the biggest problem is we take the Legacy format, which is not a competitive format, right? There are no PTQs.
Right.
There are no RPTQs.
You get the occasional GP.
You get the occasional team event, and you get a couple GPs a year that is reasonable for you to go to, right? You don't play Legacy to play competitive Magic. You play Legacy because you love it.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest problem is you get all these people who play Legacy because they love it, and then a GP comes up and you have all their friends being like, no, you can't take this crappy fun deck. You can't play Nick Fit in a GP, Bob.
You have the cards for Grixis
Here's
Delver.
the Grixis Delver deck. It's the best deck in the format. Go play it. And I think that's why we see those percentage changes. Is because people are like, all right, well, if I'm going to be playing Legacy competitively, I'm going to be playing the most competitive deck. And I think it's kind of sad.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense, but I also think it's kind of sad.
Yeah. I think if you're going in, it depends on why you're going to play, right? Like, if you're going to play to win, then you should probably be playing a top-tier deck, and you should probably have a lot of reps in with that deck. If you're going to have fun, or if you're going for the community, or if you're going for a plethora of other reasons, then it's okay to play whatever you want to play, and that's what Legacy is there for you.
Right. This Val movement, if I understand that you're torn, if you would like my help, if you want my personal opinion, I'd be happy to lend it, but only if you want it. I don't want to be throwing out, information that they don't need. You may have to go to the wedding.
I think Kyre's saying that he would go to the wedding on your behalf as a placeholder. You could be there.
Is there an open bar?
In your place, on your behalf.
Oh, Nick Major's going to play Nick Fit at GP Richmond.
Nice.
There we go.
There you go.
So speaking of GP Richmond, I'm about to lock myself into going as well, which I'm super excited about. I haven't actually being in Salt Lake City, it's a little obnoxious going from GP to GP, and it's because Vegas is 6-hour drive away, and then going to LA is like 12, going to Portland's like 13 to drive, and flying's just a little more expensive than I usually like it to be.
Sure.
But I've decided to go to Richmond, which means I'm going to fly. Haven't done that in a while. I'm excited. But yeah, I think Brian, me, maybe. Oh no, I know Terry's going to be there. He's not going with us though. He's going with other people, and Trace might go, which I think is the coolest thing ever. So you guys should see some Paragon people.
If you do, make sure you say hi.
Yes, please say hi.
Make sure that you come chat, and we love meeting up with people who are fans of Paragon, fans of the stream, and seeing you guys in person.
I was really sad. This leads into a story. I was really sad because I was at GP Vegas, and I had one of the people who watches the stream come up to me, and they introduced themselves and they said hi, and then they go, anyway, I gotta go, and they just left, and I was just like, oh, I actually wanted to talk to that, I wanted to meet the person,
right?
I was like, okay, all right, well, later.
Bryce to do altars in the bathroom.
In the bathroom, huh? Has to be in the bathroom. You don't sell him. He just sits there and paints in the bathroom. When is GP Richmond? I believe it's end of August, early September. I think it's that weekend. Let me look at a calendar. Yeah, so I think it's
the weekend.
August 30th, 31st, and then Saturday is the 1st and the 2nd.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so 30th through the 2nd, I think.
Anywhere away from Friday
guys. I don't know if Bryce is gonna go, but I know that he should. Specifically the bathroom. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already went over this. That's awesome, the devil. Cool.
Cheers, Devil Gin.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just funny because I had one guy who recognized me, and he actually talked to me and had a conversation with me. And I'm one of those people. I'm a very I only remember people by their face.
Yeah.
If I don't have a face to remember people by, then they're just kind of in one ear out the other kind of thing. And so people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm this person in the stream," and I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I get to talk to them and kind of put a face to their name,
right, yeah.
which I really appreciate because I think you all are awesome people. But then somebody comes up, "Hi, I'm this person. Bye," and I'm going, "Thanks for helping." I wasn't doing anything. I'd love to hang out for a minute.
Well, at least they said hi.
Yeah, for sure. Nathaniel, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's true. At least they said hi. It's a good point. It's a good point. I appreciated it.
Well, hopefully, should be just about time in the round. We should be getting some new matches up here pretty soon.
What happened to our guys in GP Seattle? We actually had like one of the roughest tournaments in Seattle. I did not do well. I think our best player lost in his win into day 2. We didn't have a great showing.
I know you.
Oh, I know you. Bye. Later. Yeah. I was like, wow. It's almost like people want to say, hey, Kyer, I acknowledge that you're there, but you're not a person that I want to hang out with or meet. And if that's the way that it is, then I get it. All right, I get it. But but no, we had a rough going in Seattle Bay Area Eternal. And honestly, however, a couple days earlier was the Mox duel event or whatever at Mox Boarding House.
Yeah.
And we had Paul top 8'd our lands, our Paragon's lands player, and then Terry was like right outside of the top 8. We just had Zach a missed top 8 on breakers. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that'll happen. That's pretty good though.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of crazy because like as far as the West Coast goes, like until Paragon kind of popped up, it was really just like what Card Kingdom and Bay Area Eternal.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's cool that we actually have like a third location on the West Coast that is getting like regular Legacy action.
For sure, yeah.
I'm pretty thrilled about it.
Always good seeing more Legacy pop up, especially in the West where it's a lot harder to get things together.
Yeah, for sure. Dragon Knight asks, how is everyone? You know what? I am doing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Something I actually haven't told people yet, or I haven't told the stream yet. I actually got promoted. I'm a manager here at Paragon City Games now, which is super awesome. I'm in charge of our entire inventory, and I've been tasked with the project of getting everything online. It's a huge project, and I've been working my butt off. And I actually am like loving the moments that I get to sit down and just like stream because I feel like I'm just flicking through cards all day, you know, and next thing you know, my eyes are just like gone, and I hear then I get on stream and I can just babble on about things for, you know, the 25 minutes that I had to.
There you go. Well, it looks like we've got pairings up, so should be getting some Legacy.
You like to think of us as the trifecta. You know what? I'm honored that you would even. I'm honored that you would even consider us a part of the trifecta. Because, or yeah, trifecta. Yeah, because honestly, I feel like Paragon's still pretty new. I still feel like we have a lot of growing to do, and I feel like Bay Area Eternal and Mox Boarding House just have way bigger communities, and they're much more established, and they've been there for years. So thank you, I really appreciate that, and we've definitely been working hard at keeping our Legacy streams tight, and we've also been, you know, trying to keep our Legacy group growing. Literally every day you shuffling. Yes, so much shuffling. I'm almost to the point where it's going to be so much grading. Oh, guys, grading a 1,000,000 card inventory is like, a joke. Our stream is like 2 years old. Yeah, ours is like a little over a year now. Yeah. Your community is gigantic. It's super cool. I actually haven't gotten to play down there yet. But I definitely, next time I'm in the area, I'm going to go out of my way to make sure I visit and get to see what you guys are up to and stuff. I would love that. It was super cool seeing Mox Boarding House. I mean, that store is amazing, and you know, I think that's kind of the idea of where we're headed with our store. It's definitely an idea, maybe not a full on, but oh, did they start?
Yeah, probably.
No,
just barely.
Cool.
Just barely getting shuffled up.
Thanks for catching that. Round 3, we're on our way. We'll treat you right. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when's the next GP that's close to you guys that I can come out and say hello, because it's usually the West Coast GPs that I'll be going to, you know. Otherwise, I don't have like a large reason to leave the state.
GP sack.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's a good time to plan.
So far out. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So we've got Matt and Josh. So that's going to be, I believe that's going to be Red Black Reanimator versus Miracles.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tempted to start there.
And Terry versus Jeff, which is Grixis Delver versus Death and Taxes.
Any preference, people in our stream?
I'm leaning towards Reanimator versus.
I think that'll match. Will probably go faster, so we can. That's probably better to start there. I'm gonna fix the names real quick.
So many Matts.
So Matt's only been playing. Oh geez, he's only been playing Legacy for like a month or two now.
Yeah.
Between him and his brother, they've bought like 3 or 4 Legacy decks.
That's great.
which I think is great. They you know, they're all kind of like non-interactive, like all right, you have the answer type style decks, but I'm still just super happy to see
hey, if that's
to
what
see
you
new
like
faces.
To play,
yeah. Well, he's been playing Red Black Reanimator as much as he can. He's trying to get better at it, and gotta play a lot to figure it all out. You wouldn't mind a testing partner like that?
All right, looks like Matt's scrying to the bottom, so he's going to keep that hand. And he's got Chancellor to start things out.
Yep, that's the dream.
And has a fetch land. I saw a Reanimate in hand. We'll see if he's got an Entomb to go along with that. Looks like he doesn't quite yet. Drew Unmask for the turn.
I think Unmask is going to look pretty darn good here. It is somewhat unfortunate that Chancellor's not a black card. I will say that because, like, well, no, I guess you want to unmask. Well, you exile to unmask,
yeah, exile.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chancellor's like the thing that he probably would care about the least. Definitely surprised to see no unmask at all there.
Looks like Matt's missing something to. Oh, maybe he's got Faithless Looting in there that I didn't see.
Think you drew it?
I think he's missing a way to get cards into his graveyard.
Well, an unmask would do that.
Yeah. Could unmask himself, I suppose. See lots of reanimation spells. I don't see.
I mean,
and even like getting that Chancellor isn't terribly groundbreaking against Josh.
I think what Matt is looking for right now is a way to unmask and then pull something back in the same turn, and I actually think he's hoping to unmask his opponent. So he's going to get Reanimate there.
He's unmasking himself.
You're seeing things.
Yeah, no main deck surgical, I don't think. So this is going to get forced, and Josh will pay the 1, so that trigger is done.
Yeah, I think this works out for Josh well. He's already had a couple draws.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Alright, so now comes the faithless looting, and this is going to be a little bit too late, I think, now that counterbalance is in play. It's going to be really rough on Matt to establish any sort of board presence, especially with that Jace that we know that Josh has.
Counterbalance is so good against this deck.
Yep.
So good against this deck. Pretty much all you need to do is just set up one and make sure that you can answer the twos.
Yep. Jace is going to do a decent job here of making sure that that stays set up.
No, yeah, Devil Jin, Josh definitely has surgicals in his deck, just not in his main. We will see them. You might have been seeing the future, okay?
Future sight in play for Devil Jin.
I didn't know he was playing.
Alright, so Matt tests the water with a Lotus Petal. And passes the turn.
Yeah, he needs an effect to... He needs, like, collective brutality. Or, yeah, because resolving Faithless Looting is going to be really hard. Any other discard effects are going to be pretty difficult as well.
Yeah, I think Matt's just kind of a turn, maybe even 2 turns behind, and at this point it's going to be very hard for him to crawl back in.
Yeah, I think he probably kept a pretty greedy hand. He was probably thinking, hey, this hand just needs one piece to do something, and he just wasn't able to get something into his graveyard fast enough to capitalize off of the Chancellor ability pre-game.
Matt could start testing the waters if he draws into some Thoughtseize type effects. He could Thoughtseize, see if it resolves, then use that to potentially be able to cast a Faithless Looting from the graveyard.
Yeah,
get that to resolve.
I think Josh's hand's just a bunch of brainstorms, though. Yeah. Not only that, but like Matt just drew Cabal Therapy, and he's not even casting it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a rough spot. Post-board things get kind of interesting. Josh brings in surgicals, obviously, and I'm assuming Matt has something along the lines of Sire of Insanity or something like that. That would be kind of interesting to see.
I think this game's already gone on a little too long, and I don't think that Matt's going to be able to get any big threat onto the board at all.
No, I'm pretty sure that Josh has this game locked. We see Force Counterspell, Jace on board. Yeah. Spell Pierce. That's a lot of cards to deal with.
Definitely.
So on Matt's side, for the next game, you're on the play. That's the good part. Ideally, I guess you want to have Chancellor and the ability to reanimate like that turn possibly, or like an unmask the turn that you go to Entomb Reanimate, and then you could possibly do that for white, like Iona on white or something like that, and hope that that's a quick enough clock to beat out Jace. Should be.
He reveals Supreme Verdict. No unmasking. There's a Cabal Therapy. It's going to target himself. If I'm Josh, I'm probably just going to be like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know.
I think so. Worst case scenario is it's like a Gristlebrand, right?
The Gristlebrand is absolutely the worst case scenario. Yeah.
Everything else you're pretty okay with.
Matt's definitely done a good job at playing around this counterbalance. But the counterbalance has also done its job and just given Josh so many turns.
For sure. Counterbalance is just doing its thing.
Alright, we're going to fetch away these top 2 cards. Let's do basic planes.
Important. Your plant.
Your plant. What?
I'm confused.
Yeah, well, Brian, you're high.
So I think
we can call this one.
Yeah. I think Josh pretty much has this game. It's just a matter of how long he's going to wait to kill.
Yeah.
I think Josh is just content to wait until he gets to Miracle and Entreat. Make sure that the shields are up at all times. So
yeah, I'll keep this match up. It looks like everything's happened that needs to happen. Let's check up on the Grixis Delver and Death and Taxes match. So we've got Terry on your left, Jeff on your right. And just to catch up on the board state, both players have 4 lands. It looks like there's been 2 fairies off of this Bitter Blossom, and there's a Deathray Shaman. Jeff's got a Flicker Wisp, a Phyrexian Revoker, which I'm going to guess is on Deathray Shaman, and Recruiter of the Guard.
Terry down to 3 life here.
Yeah, if that's real, I feel like, yeah, this is game 1. This is game 1. If that's real, I feel like Terry is in a real bad spot.
Bear Blossom could be a real liability here.
He's gonna scoop it up. Yep. And that's the thing though, is like, if Bitter Blossom were another card, would that have saved him? Probably. I don't think any one card was gonna beat what Jeff was doing there. All right, Death and Tax. Whoa.
Other way.
Sorry about that. Man, I am on one, guys. What is going on? Main deck Bitter Blossom. Yeah, he's really been liking Bitter Blossom.
Yeah, Bitter Blossom does a lot of things that you want it to do. In matchups against like Merit Lage decks, it just infinitely chump blocks. Mm-hmm. Against matchups that are trying to run out like creatures like Baleful Strix. It's a great way to answer Baleful Strix.
Absolutely.
It's good at blocking tokens off of Young Pyro and stuff like that.
I mean, we saw the Flicker Wisp there.
Yep.
Just
chilling.
These fairies are awful.
Yeah, Bear Blossom definitely puts in a lot of work. It's also a quick clock that you can run out early.
Yeah, something else is the Grixis Delver deck does play with usually like a Trop.
Yeah.
And they do have the ability to gain a couple life off of Deathrite Shaman if they need to, which, I mean, if you think of it this way, if you gain 2 life with Deathrite Shaman and you're getting 2 fairies,
yeah,
between 2 turns, I think that's a pretty good price to pay.
It looks like Josh finally was able to close out that game.
Took him long enough. Jeez. Yeah, if I'm mad, I probably would have conceded a little earlier. But it is good to, like, if he's not used to this matchup, it is really, really good to see, you know, what these decks are doing and what, you know, how they kill you.
For sure.
I think knowing how your opponent's going to kill you is like so important.
Get those reps in.
Yeah. Captain QC's home. It's freaking hot because your AC's acting up.
Oof.
That's the worst thing I could possibly imagine. Could you imagine this room with no AC?
No.
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 You guys would not have any commentators. No. You guys would just watch the matches.
I would be melting.
I'd probably walk into the room like every once in a while and make sure you guys are actually watching a match.
Yeah. Just
and
like force you to watch the match.
Yeah.
And walk
yeah.
Away.
I just walk away. Yep. That sounds nice. I should do that. Yeah. This room's been a lot better since we did. It was never ever awful though, Brian. Like now it's just really nice. Not to mention, like I've been working back here like, you know, 8+ hours a day. And like, man, it doesn't get hot back here ever anymore. Oh yeah, that's like all it really took. You've kept the same AC unit for 7 years. I don't know the life expectancy of
I'd imagine
AC unit.
Supposed. Well, it depends on what kind, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, nice. I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Brian. That's good.
I don't. What do you do?
He says here. Let me map it out. There were days I wasn't a fan of the circulation in the room.
We
got a fan.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
So he means like that kind of fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get it, Brian.
So David says, "Hey guys, I know there's a Legacy stream, but any rumors about bans and unbans in Modern?" I have not seen anything.
I've heard rumblings about Stoneforge, but honestly, I don't know. I can tell you why I'd like to see get unbanned. I'd like to see Splinter Twin get unbanned. I think that'd be a good thing for the format.
Yeah.
But who knows? Being too hot, kick them onto the next ice flow. I would love
That'd be great.
For there to be an ice flow right here, right now.
Wolven Joe, you're seriously talking, like, you're talking to one person who prefers the winter, and then the other person also prefers the winter and is also a ski instructor. Like, this is his off season, and the fact that he's sitting here talking about Magic is depressing to him because he's not skiing.
Yeah. Fact. Now, if I could just figure out how to play Magic while skiing.
Sounds rough.
It'd be hard to do.
Your hometown had snow last week?
Where's your hometown? Are you in the southern hemisphere?
I thought you were going to be like, I'm on my way. You don't mind housing me for a couple weeks. All right. Awesome.
All right.
Well, welcome. Vote for Pod 2018.
For unbanning?
Yeah,
that'd be
fine.
Know. Pod would be fine to be unbanned.
Here's the thing about Modern. Like, Modern's in a pretty good spot. It has more people are playing Modern right now than like ever before in the history of the format, and I don't think they need to do anything too crazy. you know, they just had a couple unbans that have gone really well. Maybe it's a sign to them that the ban list is a little ridiculous and that they need to explore it more. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Will tell.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, looks like we got some opening hands here. So Matt's starting things off with the Faithless Looting.
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
This is a much better start.
Yeah, Josh is considering forcing this. I think he does. Yeah, yep. I think this is a good force of will.
Yeah, I think if you're Josh, you really just want time. So.
And I think if you're Matt, your dream is to play Atlantis next turn and flashback Faithless Looting.
Yeah, could do. It's going to depend on the makeup of his hand, what he wants to do. Like, if you have, say, Thoughtseize Reanimate, you might hold off on that. Mm-hmm. Looks like Therapy is the draw. He's going to play third land. Or third mana source. Pass turn. Interesting. It's really hot.
I know. That's incredibly hot.
Yeah, it's really hot.
What's
40's about 100. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys are talking Celsius, then it's been like, I don't know, I'd say like 32.
Yeah.
It's been hot, like but not bad.
Mid-30s.
Yeah.
What is this?
I'm not sure. The glare is making it just a little hard to see.
Dark Ritual, perhaps? Entomb, perhaps?
Entomb. You think it's an Entomb?
Yeah, it looks like an Entomb.
Okay.
The middle of it looks like an Entomb. With the hand sticking up in the middle. But
I think Entomb's a pretty good one right now, and we're going to see another Force of Will.
All right. So that's pretty good. If Matt's able to draw another mana source here, he could flash back that looting and go about things that way.
Yeah. He gets to play this Bloodstained Mire.
And Josh down to just 2 cards in hand. He's had to Force of Will.
Yeah.
2 threats, so this might be a better...
I'd actually say that Matt's in a really good position, especially if this Faithless Looting goes well at all.
Yeah. It definitely plays.
Like Matt's up on cards. Josh is tapped out. Two forces already gone. Josh is shaking pretty hard. Oh yeah, he always moves his leg up and down when he plays.
Oh, unmask. Huh. I'm not sure I see any...
Does he not have a threat?
Any fatties in hand. Maybe he does.
I thought he did.
Maybe he does. He certainly has an Entomb.
There's a Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, I don't think he has a...
He doesn't have a creature.
A creature.
Oh no. Oh, we still have a game.
Oh man.
The game is still going, guys.
So okay.
Yeah, Josh probably just went from being like, Okay. That could have been real bad. To now he's like, this is fine. Okay, here's a
Dark Ritual and Tomb.
Okay.
Okay. And as long as the last card reanimates,
it's Exhume. Yeah.
Then you're good. And Iona on white should be quick enough as long as Josh doesn't top deck land Jace in those next 2 turns.
I could see Sire of Insanity being a really good choice as well. But if you've got the Iona, I think yeah, Iona. Yeah, so 2 mana, and he's going to use that to Exhume. All right, Josh, do you have your 3rd Force of Will?
I don't think he does. There we go.
Devil Jin, I understand that he has mismatch in tombs, but like let's be real. This is also a player playing Red-Black Reanimator. All right, you don't have pride in your Red-Black Reanimator deck. The whole point is to tilt people the heck off. Okay, so he named blue.
Ooh. Wow.
So this is going to be a learning moment for Matt.
Yeah.
A really big learning moment for Matt.
He just drew Reanimate off the top, so we'll see what happens. It looks like he's going to pass the turn back.
No, Andy Prime, that is not right.
No.
Yeah. Well, no, Gristle Daddy could be fine. Gristle Daddy would have been just fine. Sorry. Iona's great. Iona should win the game, but you got to name white, not blue.
Yeah.
Let them cantrip. Let them cantrip all they want.
Yeah.
You know, go for it.
Gristlebrand could have been fine. Drawing 14 there is certainly not a bad thing to be doing.
Yeah. This is going to give Josh all the time in the world to get back into this game. Here's a Vendilion click.
That's going to be rough.
And we see Reanimate, Unmask, Swamp.
Ouch. I think Josh will say you can keep those.
Yeah, I think so. In comes the clock. Here's a counterbalance, and look, Josh is taking over this game.
That's going to be a rough one to come back from.
Norm, if Terry was here, he'd probably run out there and be like, "What are you doing?" But I have a feeling that after the match, Josh is going to be like,
"Yeah,
you did everything right, except there was one word that you said that needed to be another word."
Yep.
All the cards were correct.
And Matt has a little bit of time to try and find another thing here. We're seeing hard cast on Mask. That's going to get spell pierced. Predict is going to get rid of that land off the top, draw 2 fresh ones. In for 3 on click. Yeah, so it just kind of goes to show, like, just one little subtle mistake can really change the impact of a game.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Matt was thinking, well, he had Jace last match, so
yeah.
I named blue on that.
You know, now that you mentioned Jace, maybe it was correct to just get the Gristle Daddy. Yeah, so Faithless Looting was just found. This is definitely the card that he needs to have, but there's no way that this is going to get there. There's a counter spell. Not only that, he's just going to let it happen. Okay. Yep, no big creature. So we've only seen the one creature, and it got tutored up. He has not drawn a creature yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd flashback right now.
He's just going to pass. Josh in for 3. Now, I think naming white is fine because then he has to go... His draws literally have to be land and Jace in order to win the game.
Yeah, he had 2 cards. Jace really isn't like a wonderful card in this matchup. It wouldn't surprise me if Josh shaved on them. I mean, it is a win con.
Yeah, against control, drawing 14 is going to be good, but you can still lose off of drawing 14. I think.
Yeah.
I think drawing 14 is a perfectly fine line. Like, it probably sets you up really well if they do have an answer.
Yeah.
And
what?
This
is Archangel Avacyn?
That's what it looks like to me, and we're going to see a wear tear. Take care of that counterbalance. What is this?
Yeah, we haven't seen him run this one before.
All right.
The new tech. Yeah, apparently.
Josh always switching things up.
He always switches his WinCon card.
Yeah.
It's usually he'll have like 2 WinCon cards in the whole deck, unless you're on the 4 Mentor build.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen Baneslayer, we've seen Gideon Ally of Zendikar, we've seen 5-mana Gideon,
Nahiri,
we've seen Nahiri, we've seen Keranos.
Yep.
But this is a new one.
Yep.
This is a new one. Archangel Avacyn.
Well, Josh gets there 2-0, and you have to think that game should have been Matt's, and you should probably be going to a game 3 right now.
I absolutely agree.
But that's the way it goes sometimes.
All right, so I'm guessing this is a game 3. I think they are.
This looks game 3-ish.
It does. I'm gonna give game 2 to Terry while we were watching that other one. And we've got a Delver that is flipped. That's what the die, the 3 die is representing there. And a Deathrite Shaman versus Mommy and Thalia.
Yeah.
And don't forget the Violin too.
Oh yeah.
Every time I say Vial or Chalice, I feel like I'm mixing them up. And they do completely opposite things.
Brightling coming down.
Yeah, this is gonna be a brutal one for Terry to deal with.
Yeah. The lifelink is extremely relevant. It's a very hard card to deal with.
So with a Vial, Brightling can wall off a 5/5 Gurmag Angler forever.
Yeah.
You know? And then not only that, but with a Mom on the board, it can actually just block and kill it.
Yeah.
And it can gain Vigilance, so this is attacking every single turn. I think Brightling looks absolutely amazing here.
Yeah, it took me a little bit. I had to see Brightling in action before it actually. What's the thing with 3 on it? It's Delver. Flip Delver.
Yeah, he just put the 3 on it instead of flipping it in its sleeve.
Yeah, I had to see Brightling in action to actually be convinced that it deserves a spot in this deck, but it's actually been performing quite well. I can't even
pull it up on .info.
Oh man,
MagicCards.info. Yeah, it doesn't exist. I was going to show the people, but
yeah.
Oh well. It's a Grim Lavamancer. Yeah, Grim Lavamancer. Grim Lavamancer is a really good card in this matchup, but where Mom's already there, it's gonna look a lot weaker. And the question is can Terry get through? He might be able to. This Brightling has actually quite a bit to do.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a blocker for this Delver. Does he have Flicker Wisp?
I was thinking he might have missed that Aether Vial activation. It looks like he didn't.
Okay. I see Brightling number 2.
So first order of business is probably life linking in with the Brightling.
Yes.
Is that Revoker in play, in hand, or just chilling?
It's in the graveyard. Graveyard, yeah.
Okay, so Brightling and...
Yeah, so we're serving. All right, 5 damage coming across. We'll see if there's any blocks. I don't expect there to be.
There shouldn't be. You could make an argument for blocking with a Deathrite, but I don't think that that's correct.
Yeah.
So Jeff's going to go up to 9.
Yeah, we're going to lifelink here, and then I think that the next step is to Wasteland the Valk. Turning Grim Lava off. I think that way he has to use a Deathrite Shaman to activate it.
So we know there's another Brightling in hand, correct?
Yes.
So I think you're fine. I think you're fine on this board.
Okay.
If Jeff tries to get too like fancy, he might lose. But as long as this attack comes in for 3, you should be fine.
So Jeff does have a Path to Exile in hand.
You could path.
I think the Delver would be the thing that you'd want to path. It doesn't look like there's a ton of juice for this for these Deathrites in Jeff's graveyard. I mean, I guess you'd be adding one, but
okay. So
here's the Path to Exile.
There comes the path. I think I like that path.
If I'm Terry, this is probably forcible.
If you have force, yeah, I'd probably force that.
From Terry's perspective, like, he actually... Oh, man. 9?
Okay.
Yeah, so no basics for Terry. This is just a really, really good... All right, I'll shuffle. I'll shuffle.
Yeah.
Failed to find.
Yeah, so now if you're Jeff, you get to violin your second Brightling.
I think Jeff is really well positioned at the moment.
You get to hold up 1 white just in case anything goes wrong. You've got Mother of Runes on defense. So nothing should be able to be fatal pushed or anything like that. You could do something like...
With that path...
Fatal push a Brightling, activate Grim, something like that. But this is going to be really rough.
I think this will do it. Does Grixis play Toxic Deluge?
Not usually.
Not usually.
Usually they run Marsh Casualties.
Marsh Casualties, yeah. I have seen them run a 1-of in the sideboard before, but that's not common. And I'm like 99% sure that Terry just runs Marsh Casualties. No Toxics.
So this threatens lethal if those are left unblocked.
Yep, and I think this is where Terry's game just falls apart. This is too much lifelink. It's too much damage. You know, Jeff has all of his mana available to him, and a Mother of Runes to protect it all. I'd be pretty impressed if Terry could manage to pick this game up.
Yeah, veritable CBN for sure.
Stop by Goblin Games next time I'm in Kansas. Deal. Deal.
Unfortunately, I'm not in Kansas very often.
No, not too often. But you know what? Like, if I ever went to a GP that's out close, you know, that's kind of where it's at. Is like, I've, you know, like the West Coast people. I've definitely met a lot of people that watch the stream on the West Coast because that's where we are.
Yep.
But going to Richmond should be fun because I gotta meet a lot of the people that I don't have a lot of chances to see. You don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto? That poor state. That's still what comes up. Still what comes up.
GP hometown. Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go to Richmond. I'm gonna go to Richmond, Romario. I'm pretty psyched about it too. I'm kind of on the Agrolome train right now, so I think I'm gonna ride that all the way till September.
It's a fun train.
It's a good train. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And the other thing about that deck, man, when you lose, they're close. I don't get just like beating the living crap out of often.
15 minutes. Wow, that's way too far.
All right. I think that's an even deal. You drive 15 minutes, I'll fly many hours, and we'll hang out. All right.
Way too far.
Show me your best local bar.
Whoa.
That's where I want to be.
So stifle.
Stifle on a Breitling trigger?
Stifle on the Breitling activation.
Cliffy, how's it going? Welcome in.
Hi, Cliffy.
Oh, hells yeah. Yeah, that's my place. I want to go where there's bar food and beer.
Works for me. It's a good combination.
Yep.
Bunch of good breweries.
Excellent. Excellent. Cliffy's coming too. All right, Cliffy's coming. Moses the Cute, you play Agrolome as well? Awesome. I've been really high on Agrolome lately. I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Best of luck, Moses.
Richmond? Yes, Richmond. We're going to be talking about Richmond quite a bit in the next couple months, I would assume.
There's a second stifle in there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think he drew the marsh casualties as well. It's a little late.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But, I mean, it will clear the mom.
Alright, so we're stifling those triggers, staying alive.
The problem with Loam is that it sucks. Interesting.
It's a big problem. Good night, Veritable.
Yeah, later.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we'll be streaming. We'll be streaming a larger tournament of Modern tomorrow, and then you can always count on us being back Tuesday and Friday if I can get people to stream with me. Good. Here he is, 3-0, beating Terry.
Oh yeah, Seismic Assault Tarm.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
I love that build. All right, well, some kind of different things than what we're used to seeing on camera.
Yeah.
Got to see some black-red reanimator action and some like kind of interesting lines and some interesting plays to think about.
I actually think it's been a little while since we've seen Josh on camera as well, and he is not disappointed at all.
Yeah,
like, he's been playing really well. Yeah, Moses the Q. I was playing Punishing JUN for a little while, and I took it to the Seattle events. I played in the Mox Boarding House Duel for Duels that weekend as well, and it was like an over 200 person tournament, and I did so poorly. I just could not get Punishing JUN to do anything for me. It's like one of my favorite decks, and I was really upset about it. And then I picked up Agrolome once I got my diamonds, and I have been loving every second of it.
If you could register 6 Mox Diamonds?
Yeah, well, I would.
You could register 6 Mox Diamonds, but
it might not go very well.
I think you'd probably be DQ'd. But
probably. They might not notice.
I mean, you could always find out.
Big old 6 on there. 1 basic, 6 Mox Diamonds. Playing colored spells in Legacy is boring. Mud strats are clearly better. Oh, I thought you were going to say like Eldrazi or something, and I was going to be like, oh, honey, that's so boring. But then you said Mud, and I forgive you. Yeah, Mud's a cool deck. It's not very good, but it's one of the coolest decks. Yeah, Loam. I mean, there's a lot of decks like that, right? Like that. I mean, the difference between a game with Grixis Delver when they have a Deathrite Shaman and not a Deathrite Shaman, like it's kind of the same thing. What's been funny is that since I've been playing this deck, I feel like I never have the Mox hand, but I'm always doing well. I'm always doing well. They only notice once you play the 5th Mox.
Very true.
Oh my goodness. There's no way. There's just no way. You can't bake on P-Fire. It's weird how much you don't draw it. Actually, I feel like I draw it all the time. Not to mention you get to dredge it over when you find your loam. The card that's just insane to me though, and I don't think I've ever had respect for this card until now. And that card's Knight of the Reliquary. I always knew it was good. I always knew it was good. It's not like I thought it was like a bad card or anything, but man, that card is a beating.
Card's great.
Like, I know that people like want to untap with their Jace or like untap with their like 4-drop or whatever, but like, oh man, Knight of the Reliquary, you untap with that sucker and the game's just over. It's so good. Really though, like, I've played a little bit of Maverick, and I don't think Maverick really shows just how insane Knight is, and I feel like Agrolome really does.
I mean, there are definitely games where Knight goes out of control in both those decks, but Agrolome's definitely better suited to use Knight than Maverick.
Yeah, I know. Like it is a loam deck, but it's not a loam deck. It's actually pretty funny because I feel like the most common card I've had surgical is loam, and almost every single time I'm like, that's fine. If you surgical like Punishing Fire, or if you surgical, God forbid, my Knight of the Reliquaries. Ugh. Yeah, and see that's fun. That's funny, Captain QC, because I don't think that either is like a better Knight of the Reliquary deck. I just think that like Knight of the Reliquary shines a little brighter in Agrolome.
I think Knight just doesn't have to do as much heavy lifting in the Maverick deck. So
I definitely agree with that. Oh, I know. I love the Maverick deck. You already know this. I like Maverick. It's a sweet deck. Yeah. Like, seriously though, I feel like the games that I win with Agrolome, it's like my win con is 99% of the time going to be a Knight of the Reliquary, and 1% of the time it's going to be Punishing Fire.
Oh yeah. Not to play the graveyard.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. It's great. I definitely want to mess with Maverick a little bit too. I think the biggest reason that I'm on these non-blue decks is just because I don't feel like I have the reps with any of the blue decks to take to a GP, which is kind of sad.
And you have Mox Diamonds.
And I have Mox Diamonds. Yeah, I'm not gonna take Tezzy. Man, I love Tezzeret, but man, ugh. Yeah, we don't have much of a win con. That's true. Hey, you know what? You know what the best thing ever is, though? The best thing ever is when you have a Dark Confidant and a Sylvan Library on the board at the same time. You will never lose life with that Dark Confidant. And if you do, it's going to be real low. Either that or it's going to get exactly what you need. That one of a Johnny Vengeance. I have it in right now. I'm not sold Cliffy. I think I might like the Garruk Relentless better.
Yeah, Andy, I've seen Karns and Tez, and it's real legit.
Honestly, Andy Prime, I run 2, and it's so insanely good that I would consider the 3rd.
That's a lot, and yeah.
To crush your enemies. Yeah.
Huh.
Wow. I didn't know that was the best thing in life.
I just thought it was skiing.
But now, no, it's this. Am I on Grixis Tez? Let's call it my pet deck. I have it and I love it. But I think if you're gonna tell me, hey Kyre, play the deck that you like that also might win, I'd probably be on Agrolome or Maverick. Cause I like Tezzeret about as much as I like my Nyx Fit. It's just not a great deck, but it's a heck of a lot of fun.
I don't think I know that movie, Romario.
I don't. I'm not a movie guy, unfortunately.
I usually am, but
yeah, Confidant is underplayed for a format that like is pretty much just a bunch of 1s, 2s, and sometimes 3s. Like, it is kind of crazy how little Dark Confidant sees play in
is it a Conan
Legacy?
Conan quote?
Okay.
To Last Hope.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Stompy. I just have the one Last Hope in the sideboard. It's been really impressive.
Yeah, Confidant does die to a lot, if not everything. It dies to being sneezed on.
Yep,
but
pretty much.
Very true. There is a lot of removal at the moment.
Yeah.
And Lily. Nice. Second transmute. Transmute last week.
Oh, really? I actually just got mine in Vegas. So, did we just become friends? I think so. Hey, Matt, you know how you were, like, my best friend? Oh, you still are. Moses the Coot's just in the running. Yeah, oh, no, I like Confidants in all the Depths decks. Don't a lot of the Turbo Depths decks play them in the sideboard right now? And they'll board them in when people take out their removal. They look real good. Yeah, it's not played enough. I understand that like most decks just have better options, or they just don't need that slot in their deck. It makes a lot of sense to me, but at the same time, like, it's just a really good card. It's a good rate. Like
the value.
but the value. Yeah, so
greatness at any cost.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, Moses the Cute. That's pretty much what I'm on right now. Is I'm playing Agrolome. I have the other decks I'm playing a decent amount are Tezzeret and Nyx Fit, and I was really sad because I mentioned I played 7 tournaments while I was in Vegas. All right, five of those tournaments were with Agrolome, and I want to say I won 4 of them.
Nice.
So I did really, really well with Agrolome. I only did 1 with Tezzeret and 1 with Nyx Fit. And between those 2 tournaments, I only won 1 total round.
Oof.
It was so rough. Like, Agrolome just felt great at every point. Like, pretty much like my only... I think... Oh, no, I didn't win 4 of them. I won 3 of them. Because I had 2 main losses.
All right, looks like we got people sitting down, and we got our pairings for the 4th round coming up.
Eleventh place in Roanoke, and he had never played Legacy before. That's insane.
That's sweet.
I mean, it is a deck that has like a play style that's somewhat similar to a lot of modern decks in my opinion, or like old JUN. Or, stuff like that.
I only have 1 Rector. You ruined the price for me.
Yeah.
Kyre, why'd you do that?
Huh?
Why'd you do that?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's actually pretty, like, oh man. I could go on and on about what happened there. Cause seriously, like, when Nyx Fit became a thing, it was MD Hackbert who sent us kind of like a silly list. And Brian texted me that day, and that's when every day I was coming in and I was streaming daily, which I hope to do again at some point. But I got in and Brian's like, I built you a deck on MTGO. and you're going to play that deck today. And I go, oh, Brian, like, I don't like the random jank. You have to understand this. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
And so I jumped on the computer. I talked to Brian a little bit about it and like what he and MD Hackbert had talked about. And I want to say I had like somebody with me during that stream. Might have been Patrick. I'm not sure. But we 5-0'd with it.
That's great.
We fixed it up a lot since then, which is funny because I haven't 5-0'd since then. And I know the deck's better than it was. Like, it's sad.
So it looks like we've got Josh on Miracles versus Jeff on Death and Taxes.
Oh, he had never played Alone, not Legacy. Okay. Sorry, Romario. I didn't realize. I must have read that wrong. Well, I'd say he did pretty well with it. It's a good deck.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Last round. Let me update this timer for you. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they updated my time for me, but this will probably be pretty close. Actually, I'm going to lower this.
Close enough.
Let's do like 13. That's probably a better guess. Yeah. Let's do that.
That works.
It'll be close. It'll be close. And shameless promotion for Turbo Depths. 11th place in the Duel for Duels Roanoke. That's awesome, Romario. Yeah. That's super cool.
Nice job.
The slow depths, huh? The Sunday drive depths, as we like to call it.
Driving missteps.
Around here. All right, counterbalance in. This is a pretty good start for Josh.
Yep.
I mean, he doesn't have to deal with the mom. I mean, he's got sweepers, right? Isn't this just a terrible matchup for...
It can't be good.
For D&T.
Especially not on the draw, I think.
Yeah. All right.
The good news is there are a lot of threes that can play through this counterbalance.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, this probably isn't the best matchup for counterbalance, but still, I bet you it'll at least catch one thing, which is all it really needs to catch. Yeah.
And I think it already did in the form of that Stoneforge. Stoneforge is quite a good card to get down early in this matchup. If you can grab like a Batterskull Skull or something like that and get a recursive threat. But really hard to get resolved.
So this is no land from Josh and just a pass. Huh. He's got a lot of things in hand. I saw a Terminus, a Council's Judgment. Looks like there's a Brainstorm.
So
another blue card of some kind. Counterspell, I believe.
I think Jeff has plenty of land. If he does, he should probably lead off. I think. Couldn't tell if there's a Wasteland in hand or not. Doesn't look like that's the case. If you had Wasteland, I think you definitely waste a Tundra and then and go from there. Josh doing his best to point out the mismatched basic planes.
It's funny because doing that, like the reason that some people will do it is because of Predict, and like. You may as well, because it doesn't really hurt your deck in any way, shape, or form. It just makes it harder for Josh to predict the top of Jeff's deck, which that's so narrow. It's so narrow, but that's the biggest reason I've heard. I'm sure there's one or two other reasons, but yep, Jeff has his snow-covered planes and his. Yeah,
I could see sort of fire and ice doing work in this matchup.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just think it's going to be hard for Jeff to keep a board state.
Yeah.
Well, Josh is going to terminus right when it matters.
It's on Jeff to be the aggressor, which means he has to play into Josh's board, which is really hard to do when he's able to set up his deck.
Yeah. On the bright side for Jeff, though, his deck is quite good at handling Jace.
Sure.
You know, he gets to play creatures and actually attack it.
Tap a Tundra, Miracle.
There's the terminus.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, yeah, those go to the bottom.
Has a land. Jeff has land number 5.
Yeah, not what he wants here.
I don't think that you want to play that out.
I mean, Death and Taxes doesn't have access to Brainstorm. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it doesn't. He doesn't have a way to get rid of these. You flood, then you flood. And it sucks. This is not the deck you want to flood against.
So, Jeff starting off by tapping Tundra, plays out Wasteland. And cast Mirren Crusader, and there's a 3-drop on top in the form of a Council Judgment. Brutal.
Yeah, that'll do. There's a lot of 3-drops in Jeff's deck, and I think that Josh is more likely to leave, you know, a Council's Judgment on the top as often as he possibly can.
Yep. Well,
you flood, and now you can draw Brightling. Yep.
That is the thing, is that Josh's deck has a very limited amount of 3-drops, so if he can keep one on top, that's a very good way for him to answer Jeff's board.
So I actually just learned something. I got a message from Terry saying that he played the Grixis Delver deck that he was playing today had no young Pyromancers in it. I asked him how he felt about that choice overall, and he said great.
Okay.
And then he also said that Stifle really, really showed to be strong.
Gotcha.
Kind of cool.
When Stifle's good, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
When Stifle's bad, it's really bad.
When Stifle's bad, it gets forced, or it gets pitched to Force of Will.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah, I guess it gets worse, huh?
When Stifle's bad, it sits in your hand the whole game.
Yep.
You draw it off the top the turn that you need to draw an answer. So here comes Brightling.
This is not going to be where Brightling is best. Jace already kind of has the board controlled. You know, Josh did exactly what he needed to make Jace relevant in this matchup.
Sure.
And that is clear the board, play it in on an empty one.
Yep.
So,
and again, there's no Vial in play on Jeff's side, which would allow recursion of the Brightling to be unaffected by counters. So at any point in time, that Brightling could just be gone when it tries to come back.
Yeah. Interesting choice from Jeff here. He actually Rashad imported the Arid Mesa. I find that kind of surprising. Josh just looked at that and went, okay. All right, that's fine. It could affect whether he wants to shuffle or not, which I understand.
Yeah, I suppose it could affect like his Jace choices for the turn as well.
I don't think Josh is too concerned with that right now, though. He's already in just a ridiculously good position, and so Wasteland's going to take care of the Arid Mesa, and now, I mean, we're playing Brightling again, right? Like, we're just keep playing creatures and try.
Pretty much what he has to do. He's got a Swords to Plowshares in hand, which is not really ideal. We're going to see a Brainstorm in response, and we know that there's a 3-drop in Josh's hand. So,
yeah,
no real surprises here. Flips over Council's Judgment.
I think that's going to do it for game 1.
Yeah, this is a really hard spot for Jeff to get out of.
Yeah, we got the plus, and now I'm pretty sure that's a land.
Yep.
Keep. Yep.
It looked like a port or a wasteland. Couldn't quite see.
All right, I'm gonna give this game to Josh, and let's check. Let's check what's going on our other table. Shuffling. All right, fine. We'll watch Josh win for a couple more turns. We've got Corey and Matt. So that's Steel Stompy versus Red-Black Reanimator. Or Black-Red. Is it supposed to be Black-Red or Red-Black? I don't
know. Red-Black. Black-Red.
I'll do Black-Red this time. Let's shake it up. Alright, Red-Black Reanimator. They're Black-Red Reanimator. One of the two. For having a smaller turnout today, I'm actually like pretty pleased with the quality of Magic we've had. It's been really good.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. All right, support activations coming in. Maybe. Maybe not. I think Jeff's just trying to figure out how long he wants to keep playing this game.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's what he's thinking. It actually looks like he's trying to win, which is great. But honestly, I'm in the mindset of like this is over. If I was Jeff, I would have packed it up like a turn or two ago.
Well, Vile's a thing, but I don't think Vile's gonna be able to tick up quick enough at this point to deal with.
No, this can always just be Council's judgment. Tid. All right. I'm Josh. I draw 100 cards.
Can put those counterbalances back on top. Fetch him away. Slightly ahead. Slightly ahead.
Just barely. He's only got like one more permanent on the board.
The advantage board would just slightly bend towards Josh.
Okay. Here, I'll move the round. Okay, so like this is like the middle, right? And then this is like where we're at. Slightly advantaged.
There you go. Slightly advantaged.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Maybe.
Oh.
Harder to read, though.
Yeah, now who's playing?
So Bear Skull coming down. Gets a token. Again, all of this looks pretty fruitless. Like, Jace should just be able to take over this game. Not that it hasn't already, but
I think he wants to see a Snapcaster and just exile this Batter Skull as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he got there. Might have. He's got a really big hand.
He does. I mean, he can deal with this germ all day.
So, Sword's the germ.
Eventually he'll find an answer to
I think, yeah.
Batter Skull, or he'll just find Entreat and win.
It's either find Entreat or you start upticking Jace and win that way, right? Like,
The way that he's brainstorming right now kind of implies to me he's looking for a treat. But that might actually take longer than ticking up Jace, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, it's always kind of a weird position to be in, right? You've got the game essentially locked down, but you still need to find a way to win the game. And which way is more efficient and like which way is better is always kind of a hard thing to think about. What I've noticed with Josh and the way that he tends to play it is he'll almost always go for the brainstorm line as opposed to, oh, it looks like he did find a Snapcaster.
Yep, and that's just going to predict. So the reason I was thinking Snapcaster last turn is because Jeff didn't have the mana to bounce the Batterskull back. Mm-hmm. Where he does now is... Yeah, I honestly think that this is fine to entreat the Angels. Like, that's what we're doing. No matches after this. Nope.
Yep. This is our fourth and final round of the evening.
Yeah. We always do 4 rounds, and then there are times that we'll do like a Saturday event, and we'll do the like 5 or 6 rounds, and then I cut to top 8. But no, just 4 rounds. I think it's a good amount of time. What time is it here? I think it's like 10:30.
Something like that.
Yeah. 10:40-ish. In Mountain Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
That weird time zone that it's pretty much just us in Colorado. And then a bunch of farmland that has cows.
So Josh said, I'm tired of being ported. I'm going to play it back to basics. That's enough of that. So Snapcaster's going to get swords.
Yeah, sure is. Poor Josh. He probably thought that was his, like, win con. He's like, I'm never going to find entreat. This Snapcaster's going all the way.
We're at plus Jace now. Good night, Moses.
Yeah, later.
Good luck.
Good luck with your everything but blue deck.
Alright, Jace ticks up to 8. Jeff's going to return the Batterskull. Josh has plenty of counter magic at the ready.
So what are the chances?
Oh, yours just reveals force, yeah.
So what are the chances? No. I'm gonna bet you that the turn that Jace is gonna go to ult is the turn he's gonna draw entreat.
Alright.
Jeff finds it. Yeah. Jeff scoops it up. Alright, let's check up on these two.
Okay.
Not sure who won game 1. I believe this is game 2.
I believe Matt won game 1.
Could be game 3. It's definitely not game 1. That's all I know.
All I know is Corey's life total was really low when they were sideboarding. So that is a lot of Ancient Tombs in play. We also see a Thorn of Amethyst.
There's only one card that actually matters on this board, though, and that's
Leyline.
Leyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually really interesting because I've talked with Matt a little bit, and there are a couple different ways to play Black-Red Reanimator, and I think the biggest differences is, are you going to play green for the sideboard cards, or are you going to play white for the sideboard cards?
Sure.
And from what we looked into, most decks were playing green, which surprised me because Abrupt Decay does not kill Leyline. Abrupt Decay kills all the other things that you need to beat, which is good. And they can't be countered, which is good. But it still doesn't kill Leyline, and when I was talking to him, I was like, I'm honestly on board with Wear Tear. Like, Wear Tear just seems like, I don't know, a card that can answer just about anything. You know, you just need like one scrub land, and like that's a lot cheaper than a Bayou. You know, and budget budget absolutely matters to him, and where he's at. So
Reverent Silence is a card.
Yeah, Reverent Silence was the other one, and from what I've heard, a lot of people don't love Reverent Silence.
So this Ballista is really big. 4/4 Ballista. Matt down to 9 life. Corey down to 6 life off of all those Ancient Tombs.
I think this game's real over.
Here comes Phyrexian Revoker. Naming, what would you name? Probably
Gristlebrand?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lotus Petal? I don't know. He's pretty far away. I guess Gristlebrand, like, I don't know. I'm not even that worried about Gristlebrand.
No. And what are you worried about? Like, you have Leyline. And even if they manage to kill it, I don't know.
So that's going to be the game, and we'll see if that's game 2 or 3 here real quick. You know, Corey's taking at least 1. It looks like they're shuffling back up. So,
you think we're gonna get a game 3?
Game 3.
Okay. I actually think Reanimator is like really well positioned in this matchup,
especially on the play.
Especially on the play, and with no leyline. That's like the big thing. Is like if Corey might actually have a bad enough matchup that he needs to mulligan to the leyline.
Well, and sometimes you just don't get there when you're trying to mull for a leyline. Sometimes you just have to keep a relevant 5 or 4 or you know, whatever.
It's kind of I actually think it's kind of a sad way to play Magic, but it's also just a necessary card to keep like graveyard decks in check. So, I just think like graveyard hate's just important enough against Reanimator. Could you imagine if there wasn't any like good, like really good options to beat Reanimator? That would be insane.
That'd be crazy. Terrible matchup.
It's a terrible matchup? Huh. Why? Because like chalices and did he explain that, Captain QC? Because it seems like it'd be the other way. Yeah, that's Leyline plus Chalice. Okay, they just have to have those hate cards.
Yeah. Like, Chalice is definitely relevant, but...
Yeah. They can get around Chalice, though. I mean, that's the way that Reanimator always is. The Leyline always beats Reanimator.
I think Reanimator on the play is probably okay in the matchup. Like, you get a good chance to hit on a bunch of answers and to get under the hate. So we see Magus, Wear Tear,
Cabal
Therapy.
There is a land.
1 land. Unmask, and the 2 other cards didn't look like any.
Yeah, and Corey's on the mull.
Creatures.
Wear Tear seems insane in this matchup. It seems really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Wear Tear seems like an all-star.
So kind of not surprising to see Corey mulligan here. As we stated, I think it's necessary to at least mulligan once or twice trying to find this leyline. But we do know that that Matt will have the answer to that. Unfortunately, I think he has to fetch white with his 1 land.
Well, it's going to take him some time to get to where he's at a spot where he can go off here.
Mm-hmm.
But if Corey mulls low enough, it might not matter. That looks like That might be a keep, and that might
it has Leyline. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Leyline and even a mana source, so you know.
I think he has 2. Seems just like a good hand.
Yeah. So here comes Leyline.
All right, incoming Scrubland. Let's just tear this right now. Get out. There she is.
So there's that. And let's see what Matt follows it up with. There's a couple different ways you could try and go about this.
Corey just stole the satisfaction so bad right there.
Yeah. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're talking about whether Wear Tear would be exiled or not.
I don't think it is. Yeah.
I don't think. So it has to resolve, and by the time it resolves, Leyline shouldn't be in play.
Oh, Wasteland. Ooh. Oh, this is so good for Corey. Matt doesn't have another land.
Follow up too. I think he has Chrome Mox, or does he have a third?
No. Real close though. All right, it's got to be land. Yep, he found it. He found a bad land.
Found a land. Yeah. Put in graveyard.
Yeah. I think it's the rest in peace that's weird because the rest in peace sees itself and will exile itself. It's kind of strange. Yeah, so he's trying to
Ooh. No land drop. Trying to save it from another
wasteland.
Wasteland?
I think that might be a little too precautious. I mean, this is...
Down comes a Walker, and that's going to turn on the Opal.
Yep, and then he's going to turn it off and back on. All right.
All right. Well, 2 Hangerback Walkers in play.
Yeah, I just think a lot of people might not know that it works that way, Captain QC. That's the only reason I mentioned it.
Yeah.
If you know your rules well, then it shouldn't be too hard. He has Entomb. I think he might have just been hoping to find another land. But honestly, I don't even hate Matt's position right now. Like, yeah, he's in trouble, but...
Yeah, it's not bad. So we're going to see
nothing.
And unmask on nothing. But at least he knows the coast is clear, so he can entomb for something here, and then
he needs to find a
reanimate exactly.
Yep. This isn't exactly a fast clock from Corey.
Yeah. So likely you see these hangerbacks tick up at least once, maybe twice, and then start getting in there.
Too many lands. I am not sure what list of Stompy he's on. I know that all I know is that they have picked a very specific one. They know what list they want to be on. Corey's been working with Brian on this list a little bit. If Brian was still in the chat, I'm sure he'd tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I had never even considered that scenario, Romario. I had never even considered it. I mean, the effect's got to still be there, so I would assume it sees him leave as it leaves with him. It's no in right. Entomb goes over the creature.
All right. Well, we have Gristlebrand get reanimated there, and that's about as good as you could hope for.
Yeah, I don't I'd be very, very surprised to see Corey beat this. Yeah, I would figure it makes 5/3s. It's kind of the same thing with like you remember like the Blood Artist, the Dex, and the what's the stupid ally one? It's like the same card as Blood Artist. When you like wrath the board, it sees everything hit the graveyard. Yeah. Still, this stuff is like really important to know if you're playing, you know, if you play a lot of Magic.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Man. I think Matt's trying to decide if he wants to draw 7 more. I don't think he needs to right now.
I think you're fine for a turn.
Yeah, I think you want to hit again.
You definitely have the ability to keep going.
Steel Stompy has Caracas? Yes.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
You bet.
Mm-hmm. It's a deck that doesn't care what color of mana it's getting. It's a completely colorless deck, and Caracas is just a good utility land. Does the same thing as any other, and can get rid of some nasties.
Is there an artifact that Corey could get here that could be relevant with that Inventor's Fair? I'm trying to think of one.
Not that I can think of. Caracas is the card that he would want.
Yeah. Caracas is unfortunately not an artifact, but...
Is that another Entomb?
Yep.
Looks like he's got a Faithless Looting, though. That's probably where you're going to start.
You could start with Gristlebrand's attack and then draw.
Yeah, Arcbound could be good enough. Ravager could be.
Yeah, Ravager could be. Elish Norn, GG.
Elish Norn would be real good.
If he has a Norn, yeah, that'd be really strong.
or not.
Even something like Tidespout Tyrant could be really strong here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we're gonna reanimate. What is this? Tidespout? Yep. There's Tidespout. Does he have an Unmask or two?
Yeah.
Unmask. So it's gonna bounce one of these Hangerback Walkers. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so by letting this happen, he cannot activate Mox, and he cannot.
That's cute. The trigger allows him to get the hanger back out of hand.
Oh yeah! Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That can't tap for mana.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna catch that.
Stand by.
Hey Corey. I caught it as soon as I could.
Yeah. So we're backing things up a little bit here.
So he's going to activate his Hangerback Walker. So Inventor's Fair is just one of those cards that like you have to have 3 artifacts to gain a life each upkeep.
Yeah.
But you also have to have 3 lives or 3 artifacts
to use the ability.
To use the ability. And that's what happened is Tidespout Tyrant bounced the artifact number 3.
Well, there's also no 3rd artifact for that opal.
Right, yep. Exactly. Yeah, he backed it up.
Yep.
Cornerback.
Yeah, we caught it. Caught it in time too. Getting better at that.
The second I see it, I'm freaking out, man. If I can catch it before we have to back up past bad things, then I definitely will.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's just rough. Usually, like, the only things I feel like I have to correct is, like, hey, that got exiled. That got exiled, and it's, you know, and it's not in the graveyard. That's, like, the biggest thing.
No worries, Kurnovac.
Yeah, there's a delay. I'm sure you were on it. Always a delay in chat.
So this should be lethal this next turn.
Yeah.
Another hanger backs the draw.
Yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot.
Mishra into artifact, then 4 mana from Opal to crack.
I don't think he had enough mana to do that.
He was 1 mana short of doing that.
He needed to do it in response to the Tidespout Tyrant trigger.
Yeah.
To do it at all. And even then, like, what are you going to get at that point? How are you going to beat the Tidespout Tyrant? Really, though? We got big old Gristlebrand. Oh, as in this turn. Yeah. All right. No more Inventor's Fair. No more Mishra's Factories. None of that garbage. Let's bounce a Hangerback Walker. Let's crash for lots and lots of damage. And
it should be lethal.
I think that just wins. Yeah. Okay. So Red-Black Reanimator is going to take care of Steel Stompy. You know, sometimes you have the ley line, and sometimes your opponent has the answer to that ley line.
It looks like these guys are...
You think Miracles just took game 2 that quickly?
Looks like they're done.
Sure does.
So
Josh's deck's put away.
I think Josh took that.
Josh just cleaned up Death and Taxes. I don't think that's too surprising. I think that's just a bad matchup for Death and Taxes in most cases.
Very rough matchup. You need a number of things to go right to make that play out.
And these guys are boarding out, so it looks like our winner today is Josh.
Yeah,
Josh 4-0'd. He is our 4-0 player.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us this evening. All of you making this an awesome stream.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going to be streaming some Modern.
We are.
Kyra and Terry.
Yeah, I believe so. We don't stream Modern often. I think this is like we've done a big we've had a big Modern tournament in the past, and it went quite well actually. It was one of those like 6-rounders with a top 8, and I think that went well. I'm excited about tomorrow. I know that we don't stream Modern a lot, but we are trying to cater to the large amount of Modern players that we have in our store, and they would like to be a part of the stream as well, which I completely understand. Yeah, Modern tomorrow. It should be a good one. And I'm excited.
More Legacy coming your way Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday and Friday. Always Legacy. Thank you so much, guys, and Hail Heroes.
Hail Heroes.